see all the stats. And Viper, he's got a lot of legacy stats here. Those gold medals, those are some old school gold medals. And they're still valuable. Don't get me wrong. They're still valuable gold medals. But I'm just saying, he's PR20 right now. That's also there.
Old gold's worth more.
Old gold.
Okay, that's what I'm saying right now.
I mean, they're valuable, you know?
They're valuable.
You can't even sell that on eBay, you know? It's a valuable stat to have.
And man, a testament to Viper as a 2v2 player. He has placed like very high in so many tournaments with every opponent or every teammate you could imagine. He's always swapping teammates, but his placement is consistent, which means it's got to be something with Viper. He's got to be that good.
I agree with you. Viper is an amazing 2v2 player. Always has been.
Yeah.
Right? Always has been. But he never had, or maybe he never had, the magical twos teammate, the person who really synergizes with him and brings him to a high level. Because you know what it's like when you have the teammate that you've been looking for, it brings you up to a higher level.
Exactly.
Right? That's what Viper needs because he's been at a high 2v2 level for a long time. We were casting his tournaments in 2018 in Europe where he was winning those events, right?
Right.
And now online, going up against Hyson and Simple, I'm sure Viper would say he hasn't had the results that he's been wanting for the past year, but now is the time. He's already in top 4. He's already breaking his own records now. How much farther can he take it? Well, it's got to happen right now because the loser of this match that you are seeing in front of you right now is out of the tournament. They're done if they lose. This is over. This is an elimination match at the moment.
These next sets coming up are high stakes. Whoever loses is eliminated. These are the last chances to make it into grand finals. And this is, I mean, all they can do is claw their way up through loser's bracket.
Yeah, the winner of this will have to go up against Pavelski and the Ninja 729, who are just waiting for him. But who's it going to be? You know, the expected, nice hitter.
Fozy and Viper look good early on in this game.
They do look good.
They've got damage flowing. Fozy on Zariel. I am loving this pick. I know he's pulled it out today, but we haven't seen, you don't see very many Zariels in tournament ever.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why. Oh no, he gets the first kill. Hyson
gone. That's a good first kill here for Fozy and Viper. So Hyson and Simple, I mean, they're kind of the expected to win this, right? I mean, look, we're talking about Simple. He just won the Mammoth Invitational like 2 weeks ago, right? He's the guy. And Hyson, not far behind. He's basically number 2 in this situation. These guys teaming up is a real powerhouse of a team. It would be an upset for Fozy and Viper to win this. But so far, they're in control. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The best of 5 is just game 1, but Viper and Fozy looking good.
Well, what were you saying?
I
because all of a sudden
anything.
the tides have turned
if you heard
a little
me
bit.
talking earlier, it was a hallucination. I wasn't actually saying anything about these guys.
The whole pack is tied up on their second stock now. Hyson is trailing behind.
Yeah, he's hurting the most, and Fozy is chasing after him. Maybe he can get the kill here. The
Oh,
early kill on Hyson is a big path to victory right now, and Fozy is not letting it go. He is focused in on kicking out Hyson. I think that's the right play, too. Oh, man, Fozy. Whoa, what a play from Fozy. Oh, my gosh, he did it.
I wouldn't have imagined that Simple would have been the first of the red team to be taken down there, but
sure.
he was. And then, oh, no, Hyson follows up pretty soon.
Holy cow, they've done it. Viper and Fozy take a pretty significant lead here. It could still get turned around on him, but that is good news if you're a Fozy or Viper fan.
That's the tough thing about a team like that's like a new composition like Viper and Fozy. All their stats are like untested. You know, like how well can they play together? We just actually don't know. We're only getting a taste just today. Okay, still ahead by 1 stock, and that's due to Fozy. Blocking the Zariel, tanking it for the team.
Look at Hyson, man. He's in red now on his final stock. He's the target to knock out.
Oh,
and he
my
got
gosh,
him!
nice
What a
read.
beautiful knockout! Oh my goodness! A gravity cancel sideline off the top, comboed into the recovery. Now Simple's in trouble. Fozy's gonna take him down.
Yeah,
whoa! He caught him,
Spike,
that's a
baby.
That's maybe one of the best uses of that signature ever.
Dude.
Since it knocks him horizontally, the fact that he brought him underneath the wall to slam him against the slant, which now spikes him downward, even when you send him. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Here it comes! Here it comes. The beautiful oh wait, not yet, not yet. We got a couple of clips to get through. Let's get through these clips, and we want to see that last one. That's what it's all about here. Yeah, these are fun clips. These are fun clips. Oh, but this is what we're
Oh.
after here. Look at the slow-mo. He brings him underneath. He slams him into the slant. He gets the spike. What a play.
Oh, dude.
That's the best usage of that neutral signature I have ever seen.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, you
the-
were talking about that. Like, there's very little Zariel in competitive. But why though? Why though?
But why, though?
We're seeing
They're
Posey
afraid.
here show us.
You know what I mean? They weren't ready to pick up the gauntlet, and now they are. And it's Posey.
Yep.
This is a powerful legend. I'll go out there and say it. Slept on for
You've
years.
been saying, I can vouch that you've been saying that for
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Is it because I worked on this legend? Who knows?
Is there a little bit
regardless,
of
we'll
Did
see.
you draw those effects?
It's a good pick. Good pick. Everybody out there.
Oh, no,
pick up-
Viper's in
Viper
trouble. Oh.
Posey, gotta love that Posey goes out there, even takes a hammer to the
he
face.
didn't do anything helpful for Viper, but the fact that he went out there for it.
We
that
all
mean-
know
it's the thought
that counts.
It's
It's,
the
you know,
thought
he
that
made the
counts.
gesture. He took a hammer to the dome. He said, "I got you, bro." And that's the mentality you're looking for in a 2v2 teammate. And maybe that means Viper will keep this teammate around. We'll see. They're already in top 4.
I think, dude, even if they lose this, I hope they stick together because they're working great. This
Yeah.
is a good team.
And Posey,
Fourth place, their
Posey's
first time out
no,
together?
no stranger to top 4 in a 2v2 tournament. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like that is where he lives, basically. Okay, and Viper's the first to fall, but this was a
Oh,
hotly
nice.
contested first stock, and there another
Posey,
stock goes down.
He gets the kill, and the punish didn't even kill him. It was close to killing him, but Posey, see how much damage he can do with this stock now. This second life he got, this blessing upon him. Oh no, that's a good punish. That was an ill-advised neutral light there, right? It's nice that you land the neutral light, that's damage, but you put when you're extremely near death,
Yeah.
and you do a move like that that just keeps you in place for a whole long period of time, you're bound to get punished, and he definitely got punished with it. Maybe it was worth landing the hit anyway, but now Viper is kind of in trouble here on damage. I'm keeping my eye on Viper here because his next few plays are going to mean a lot. He either plays well, stays out of trouble, gets some damage in where he can, or he's going to die really early and cost his team.
Oh no, this would be the place where he dies early.
Oh,
Posey goes out to help him, but no, he
he's
can't.
dead. Posey's
no!
trying to save him, and he
Weapon throw
can't.
stops
He's
him, now
going
he's
to
in
die for
trouble.
saving. Oh no! Posey gets knocked out for trying to save Viper. Oh man. Sometimes you got to decide, do I save my teammate or do
Dude, that is some iRobot decision making that I'm not equipped for. I can't handle the pressure.
The
I can't believe these
ethics.
people do it. The ethics, they're like, oh, but he's 20 meters deeper, and I could, if I live, there's a chance I could take a stock with this stock. The math did not work out that time. Posey and Viper are down a whole stock. Simple tanking it for red team.
Simple is really helping.
Yeah.
Even if Heisen dies, even if Heisen was gone right now,
Right now.
Simple would still
Right.
have a pretty good chance of winning it.
Now.
So it's not
Now. Dang it, Viper, get him. You have to get him now.
Are you psychic?
Oh, well, I'm not
Oh,
psychic
Posey's
at all.
in trouble. Oh, Simple nearly got the kill on Posey. Posey had exactly one recovery option left, and he made it back right when he needed to. Things are looking heavily in favor of Heisen and Simple now as Posey and Viper
no.
are down to their last stocks, deep in the red. They're just one good hit away from dying. For them to win this would be a miracle at this point. Viper somehow
How
still
is he alive?
Posey also, there's no
Dude.
more. Wait. Oh
Yes!
my God!
Posey!
I can't believe that worked.
No,
I thought it
Stradamus
was going to hit his
Posey.
teammate.
He threw that weapon 3 minutes ago, and he knew. He believed.
I saw it come. I was like, wait, I
thoughts?
thought his teammate was going to die.
Oh, it's almost hopeless. They actually have to eliminate. No, it's wait, but Viper.
It's all right.
Okay.
Let's not say hopeless.
He can
but
take out Heisen right here. That was the play to do it. Okay, sets up for another situation off of the side of the stage. Heisen, he just barely makes
Woo!
it back, but that might
Viper,
do it.
he's not giving up. He's
Viper,
giving it his all.
Heisen, just get out of here.
Oh, he can still make it. He can still make it.
How
No,
did-
that's not going to kill him. He's fine. He's
Okay.
fine. Here comes Viper.
Oh,
Ready
the
for
pressure.
vengeance. Ready for
Ah!
vengeance. Ah, that's it. That's
Man.
it. GG, though.
Dude, the tenacity on Viper at the end there could not.
Yeah, there really was a lot of tenacity. I mean, as hopeless as
yeah.
it looked to a lot of us, are like, all right, go next.
Dude,
but
look at
Viper
Simple.
he was convinced he could win that, man.
700 plus damage, all 6 knockouts. He was just putting people away that game.
Holy cow, you're right. Simple had all 6
Ooh.
knockouts here.
But
What a
even
kill
though
stealer.
that felt kind of decided, that felt like, you know, the momentum has shifted for the final time in this set. It is still a tied set.
It's a tied set.
It's 1-1, okay?
Yeah, you may have forgotten. Oh my gosh,
And we
Simple.
can-
Woo, Simple really popped off
Dude.
in this. Look at the stats.
Look at Viper
Look at the
pushing the
stats.
most buttons. Viper is furiously swinging away out there. We know if he can raise that accuracy percentage, he is finding opportunities to take the swings. He just needs to land a couple more.
I think a lot of those numbers come down to Viper using blasters very preventatively. You know,
That's true.
You see
That
him
is
on
very
the,
true.
You know, you're edge guarding, you're waiting for him to come up the wall. You're,
Right.
you're
You're doing
using
some
down
frame
light side,
traps,
like
yeah.
you're waiting for them to run into it.
That's a good point. The accuracy, you know, don't believe in that. Don't believe in that.
it's not the full story, but
You know,
it does tell us a nice story.
You do play blasters like Jazz. It's not the notes you hit, you know. It's
right,
the ones you don't
right,
hit.
Right,
that
It's
really.
forcing people, you know, all the best blasters players, they force their opponents into positions they don't want to be in with missed light attacks.
Yeah.
And you can't quantify that. No stat's going to tell you light attacks that helped move their opponent to a place they didn't want to be. There's no, sorry, we can't calculate that. I don't think there's any programming that can. If there is, we'll find it.
Oh no,
on his
Viper.
teammate. Oh, Fozzy's gonna die from this.
He did.
How unfortunate.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he tries
Yeah.
to right his wrong, but Simple still shutting it down, and now Viper's in trouble too. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. The benevolent efforts of a teammate
know.
trying to save his teammate.
Oh my gosh.
Just
The Nair train was just not stopping with Heist getting that juggle, and that is a really sad start for Fozy and Viper in Game 3.
oh, dude, we just got word from production that Acno and Blaze actually are at a 14 in a row tournament win streak.
Dude, that means
I said 15, right? I was like really pulling that number out of
Yeah.
nowhere, but pretty close. 14.
wow, that's
Today
crazy.
might be 15 for Acno and Blaze. Unless one of these two teams that we're watching now can win this and then go on to defeat Acno and Blaze.
Dang, dude, Fozy hit that crazy gravity cancel down signature. I was ready for it to just rip off, but then he got stopped.
That's a good interrupt, though, you know? That's something these pros do a lot.
Oh,
What?
Viper! Nice
that
fadeaway
was
side
so
air.
nice. That was so nice. He got the kill. He kept going. He kept his momentum going in the opposite direction. He went underneath the stage, got back safe. What a pro.
Oh no,
Aw,
stage
that
spike by the
didn't work
recovery. Viper was trying to help his teammate.
He was
Fozy
dead
out.
anyway, but
Yeah.
almost worked out there. Unfortunate. And Heist still got all three
no.
stocks. Oh, boy.
This is bad.
This is not.
I can't even do the math. Hold on. 1, 2, 2. Okay, they made the math simpler. Thank goodness. 2 stocks up for Heisen and Simple in Game 3. It's looking almost decided now.
This
but
is, yeah, and with Heisen and Simple.
Oh, was the first game a fluke? That's what I like to believe sometimes in rank. A team beats you, and you're like, if this was a best of 5, we
Right.
would win.
Right.
But
now
that
it's
might
like,
just be
this is a
true.
tournament here.
Heisen and
Now you just
Simple are
know.
proving over a course of time, they have the reads. They make the adjustments. They're getting this down. They're
Yeah.
2 stocks up.
Well, it is still a tie set here, and the winner of this game will not be the winner of the entire set, and there still could be a comeback.
You're right.
But, yeah, man, it's looking pretty heavily in favor of Heisen and Simple here. I would be surprised. I would be flabbergasted if somehow Fozy and Viper could manage to bring this back. Oh, there
my
goes
gosh.
Fozy. It's all up to Viper now. How
Yeah.
tenacious is he?
All the more difficult for Viper in this 2v1. He's got 4
He is
stocks
so
to
not
cut
giving
through.
up though. Like even like this is still highlight territory for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Even if he doesn't win, he knows that he can still score a sweet highlight off the end of that. No dice though. Heisen and Simple now
Man.
up 2-1 in the set. They just need one more victory to move on to the lower finals, where they would fight against Pavelski and the Ninja 729, and that's going to be a run back because we saw this matchup in the winner's semifinal.
Oh, you're right.
I'm getting ahead of myself here. There's still a good chance Fozy and Viper brings it back. We'll
Is
just have to
there-
watch and see.
Is there a good chance? I don't know.
You just have to
Define
not-
good
just
chance.
don't pay too much attention to these numbers on the screen.
Is 25% a good chance? Some people might think so.
Kinda, yeah. I mean,
Fozy was relegated to less than 300 damage last game. They did something to shut him down, and he needs to be a larger presence in Game 4 if they want to turn the tides of this set.
do you think he'll change his legend?
No,
or
absolutely
stick with
not.
the
Dude,
Zariel?
Zariel's such a good pick. He'll never change. Come on
Yeah.
now. I'm not doubting the pick. It's, you know, it's what happens on the field. It's what you can accomplish.
It's what happens after that neutral sig from the first game. I'm like,
We
anything.
do, though,
Dreams
see
are possible.
a character swap from the winning team. Heisen
Oh,
switches it up to
interesting.
Bryn. Now, this isn't a
play.
new pick. This isn't, I mean,
Right,
Bryn
yeah.
Bodvar as a 2v2 comp is, you know, that's as tried as true as it gets. So.
Yeah.
All right, here we are, Game 4 on Great Hall. This could decide the set unless Viper and Fozy have something to say about it. They need to make a statement here if they want to keep their position alive. in this tournament. Whoa, Fozy,
Wait,
big play
he's
off the
going
end.
hard.
Yes!
He's going so hard. He got it. He
That's
got it.
right.
I can't
That's right.
believe it.
He hit him with the ground pound, down sig, faked a second down sig
Hey,
just to punk
mic
him.
mic
Punked him.
He punked him.
Absolutely, Ashton Kutcher came out. Dude, the trucker hat was on. The camera cuts were furious. That was a quick stock. Fozy has actually, he's done big. He's done big.
That is huge, man. That is huge. Now they got to keep it solid here because we know Simple and Heisen can still just make it back from a one stock deficit. It's only one stock.
No. Yeah,
Heisen, in fact, Heisen almost got it right there. If we weren't on Great Hall, that would have just been a KO.
yeah, Viper needs to get back to the stage. He
yeah,
can't hang out
Viper.
too high up in the air.
He's got to hold on to this stock. Hold on. Wow, man. Fozy. What a play from Fozy. So early on, getting the stock on Simple, no less, right? Wait, and for some reason, somehow, how are they losing now?
They're losing
They're
now.
losing now after that.
Dang it.
After the 10-second gimp.
I know.
They are now losing.
If a 10-second stock doesn't give you a lead, I don't know what can.
Well,
now we're all tied
they
up on the
tied
second.
it up now,
Yeah.
but you gotta
Oh,
wonder.
nice synergy from Viper and Fozy. I like that down air into neutral light. That was kind of just a good-looking combo. Quick,
Dude,
simple.
but while you were saying that,
Yeah.
Simple and Heisen did so many more combos together
Yeah.
after that. It's
Well,
just-
whatever.
These guys are so
what?
they got mad synergy. Simple's pretty damaged. Maybe Viper and Fozy can take out Simple here. Remember, Heisen and Simple being having 2 points in this set means that they just need to win this one game right now to move on to the winner's final. Oh man, not only did he hit his teammate there, but their opponent's got to follow up off of it. That's brutal. The stocks are still tied up, largely thanks to Fozy's insane gimp at the start of this, but they are still losing, man. Oh man, and Viper,
Yeah,
luckily,
Viper.
the high
Okay,
defense of
oh, he
Lucian
went for
certainly
it,
helping out
dude.
there.
The down air steals the recovery, but he's not able to close out that stock and puts it in.
Oh, can he make it?
No!
Oh, he would have made it, but Heisen made sure
Yeah.
to take care of that.
That was great 2v2 play from Simple and Heisen. Simple came
Yeah.
in there to help out.
They're
Put-
winning.
Yeah. put
They
Viper-
lost the stock 10 seconds in, and they're winning now. That is that's a powerful statement. Holy cow.
They could close out this
What?
set right here.
I love how Simple, his response to getting gimped off the top is ground pound. Ground pound really fast, right out of hit stun. Don't you dare hit me. And that could just lead to you dying. But
Oh,
Simple he
man.
knows when to let it rip. Heisen still holding on to 2 stocks while everybody else is on their final stock here. Now finally going down. It's a pretty close game. Viper and Fozy have to close this out right now, and a little bit of friendly fire from Fozy onto Viper, not helping, but didn't end up too bad for them. Viper is hurt though. Whoa, Viper, man, he's going hard. He's got to though. Getting the red now. Viper's kind of in trouble. Keep your eye on Viper here. He's either gonna get a kill or get killed.
Yeah, this is close. I mean, Heisen's the healthiest person on the board. He's the one. Oh, it's going to be the most trouble for blue team to handle. Okay, but wait, unless he put himself in a vulnerable situation. Viper, oh, he needed that edge guard situation.
Dude, we're coming down to the final moments here. Viper is so damaged he could get knocked out with almost anything. And that's the alley-oop on Fozy. It's
Oh
all
my
up
gosh,
to Viper now.
Viper.
He's fighting for his team. If he goes down, they are out of the tournament. Still
do you believe
alive.
Viper throw?
It's all up to Viper, man. He is bobbing and weaving.
No!
It's
Dang!
over! We wanted to cheer for the underdog, but it's all over. Heisen and Simple win the whole match. The set is done. Heisen and Simple win 3-1. Look at this insane gimp from Fozy. But it wasn't enough, man. It just wasn't enough. They equalized that in the first stock. Like, Simple was like, all right, you get me. Now I'm just not going to die. I'm not going to even get hit until everybody else loses the stock. That's
Yeah.
how he played it. And it worked.
They just got mad.
That was insane.
It happens sometimes.
Very impressive from Heisen and Simple.
Yes.
Holy cow. And that means now we're going into the next set, which is losers final, the second to last matchup we're going to see in this entire tournament. And it's Pavelski and the Ninja 729, who only ever lost against Blaze and Acno, going up against Heisen and Simple, who only ever lost against Pavelski and the Ninja 729. So they get the run back here. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even that long ago. In the
just like, I don't know, 6 matches ago, you just watched Heisen and Simple versus Pavelski and the Ninja 729. Now we're going to see it again. Double jeopardy. Can Heisen and Simple turn it around? Because Pavelski and the Ninja 729 won last time 3-1.
But there is one in there, okay? Which means
they are not unbeatable.
Heisen and Simple have what it takes to do it.
Right.
And it was just one time they had what it took to do it. But I believe they can take 1 or 2 more games. And if they take 2 more games, they win. So they just have to do 66% better, 200% better.
60.
I'm sorry, I'm not good with math. They have to do a little bit
Those
better.
are some wildly
No,
different.
they have to do a little bit better. And that's all.
Woo, man. All right, here we go. Getting into losers final. We call it losers final because both of these teams have lost one in this entire tournament. Not to call them losers or anything, but
Right, we
they
can make
did
it
lose
nicer.
one.
What would be a nicer name for this?
Lower finals.
Oh, lower
Lower
final.
finals, yeah.
Why don't we say that?
I don't know.
All right, well,
Tradition.
back
really.
at losers final.
Losers. Let's
This
see
is
these losers fight
Game
it out.
1 of losers finals. We got Heisen and Simple going head-to-head with the Ninja 729 and
Last night, history was made in the Southeast Asian region, and of course, history will continue to be made today in the North American region as we're going to get into the doubles portion of things. And Sparky is with me to talk about the pre-show. Sparky, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right.
I'm really excited for today. Been waiting now 3 weeks of competition, and it's going to end here this weekend with 2v2 for North America today and 1v1 for North America tomorrow. So we still have some great Brawlhalla action coming for you even tomorrow, but today we have the 2v2 Summer Championship for North America. I'm very excited.
Yeah, gotta love the North Americans. I know there's a lot of North American fans out there. I am, of course, one of them living in the North American region. So, without further ado, let's start talking about some of the teams that people are going to be looking out for in North America, because it's worth mentioning that a lot of established teams have broken up, have been mixed up, and now we're seeing some cool new shakeups. But let's talk about some of the established, some of the old heads continuing on. Of course, the top seed, the favorites of the tournament, Boomy and Sandstorm. What do people need to know?
I mean, we talk about like the best teams in the region every time, and I feel like a lot of my answers are the same every time. It's like, whoa, what can I say? We've talked about these teams for tournament after tournament, pre-show after pre-show, hundreds of times over the past few years. And Boomy Sandstorm still together, still one of the best teams out there. A track record that is basically almost second to none. It's up there definitely with Cody Faison, but if you look at the North American region, it has been consistently Boomy Sandstorm and Cody and Faison for the top two. It's been this tug of war back and forth between them. Community tournaments have been won by both. Major tournaments have been won by both as well. So it's really anybody's guess as to who comes out on top and who comes out in that second place. Specifically with Boomy Sandstorm, they have been top two, including community tournaments, in every tournament that they've entered since like the 31st of May 2019. There's only like one tournament in there where they played together and were not top two. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a level of presence about Boomy and Sandstorm that a lot of people just on feel alone equate it to like the Tiger 1v1 string or just the run that Tiger's been having, right? Like that level of dominance in a region, I think often gets attributed to Boomy Sandstorm, and maybe wrongly so, because like you said,
Yes.
they haven't guaranteed a gold finish every single time. It has genuinely been a rivalry between Cody Travis and Faison, and even if we go further back, you know, it's been like this for a while now. It was even Cody Travis and Asidru at one point, where it was kind of this tug of war between Boomy and Sandstorm and this other team. And even at one point, they split up. It wasn't working so well that Boomy ended up teaming up with Remy, and then we saw Sandstorm team up with Asidru. So it is worth mentioning that this team, despite this like dominant presence that they have, it isn't exactly on paper as dominant.
And that's the impressive thing about when Cody and Faison came around, because the big thing for a while, like the major marking point in Brawlhalla 2v2 history once Boomy and Sandstorm got together is specifically Cody Travis and Isidru at final round. taking them to game 10. Like, that was groundbreaking news. They ended up losing. Boomy and Sandstorm still won, but that was like the only thing that anybody could talk about in twos for a while is Cody Travis and Issadrew taking them all the way to game 10. That was massive. That really shook Brawlhalla 2v2. That was like the first point where we were like, okay, are Boomy and Sandstorm unbeatable? I don't think that's the case anymore. They continued that run after that, and it was only really once Cody Travis and Issadrew broke up and Cody and Phazon got together that we really saw the dominance of Boomy and Sandstorm being challenged. And ever since they got together, that really has been the case. That was the major marking point where it went back and forth between these two instead of just a Boomy and Sandstorm. So they have had a one hell of a run, even better than Boomy and Remy's run that they had back in the day before Boomy got together with Sandstorm. But it was definitely an extremely dominant period and then a back and forth between Boomy, Sandstorm, Cody, Phazon.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I think we've said a lot about Boomy and Sandstorm. Of course, again, they're the top seeds for the tournament for a reason. They've definitely done very well for themselves coming in here as the North American favorites, the North American world champions in 2v2s and whatnot, and of course, household names for the Brawlhalla Esports region. But let's talk about their main rivals in the twos space, Cody Travis and Phazon. What do people need to know?
We think about Cody and Phazon as like a staple because they've been in the top two of this region for so long now, but it really wasn't that long ago that they got together. It was really looking back. They joined for the first time like permanently. I don't know if they had played together in previous community tournaments, but like when they got together and stayed together, that was like April 2020 in Moose Wars #1 2v2. And I'm going to do a quick aside real quick to shout out AJ Moore. I was going to write it down, but I forgot to write it down. I think it's AJ Moore 2000 on both Twitch and YouTube. That's AJMORR 2000 for putting out so much community content for North America. Dude is having tournaments every week. If you're looking at Moose Wars, you're seeing that on Smash GG all the time. That is AJ Moore 2000. So big props to him. He gave me a lot of data for this. So I did want to give him credit for a lot of the driving force behind the North American community tournaments. But specifically for Cody and Phazon, that tournament, Moose Wars #1, that 2v2 was an important moment in Brawlhalla history. That was the beginning of Cody and Phazon and also the beginning of Moose Wars, really. They've been top two literally ever since. In every tournament that Cody and Phazon have entered, since that one where they first got together, they've been top two.
Yeah, I know that this is like obviously a very strong team, but it was one of those teams that was essentially theorized for a long time. I remember back during when we were able to get together in person, we would kind of be talking while the matches are happening, and we would say like, oh man, what if like Cody Travis had Phazon as a teammate? What if Phazon had somebody else's? You know, like we were talking about all these various teams, and we were just like kind of mixing and matching and saying like, man, it'd be really cool to see how that works out. And somehow it did work out. Cody Travis and Phazon got together, and they have been looking so incredibly good for themselves. Let's go back into the history books just a little bit here, and we see they got second place in the Spring Championship. They got first place in the Winter Championship. They got second place in the Brawlhalla World Championship. They got second place in the Mammoth Cup, and you go back and they keep getting these firsts and second places, and they are just right there neck and neck battling against Boomy and Sandstorm and really making a good show of like, there's never a guarantee that either one of these teams are going to be the one to go home with that gold medal because they're so contentious and they're so good at fighting against each other.
And that's why it's so hard to place them. Even if you look back at the most recent tournament, Moose Wars Cyber Showdown, the community tournament, I'm not talking about the most recent official tournament, Cody and Phazon came out on top, but still going into this as inspired as I am by Cody and Phazon, like I'm still not sure whether they're going to come in first or whether they're going to come in second. At the end of the day, I truly think it's a coin flip, even from one tournament just a short while ago to this tournament today. It's going to be very interesting to see how this breaks out. Character picks, one thing I did want to mention is, like, yeah, of course we're used to the Barraza, we're used to, from Cody, and then Phazon, the Hattori, the Val, sometimes the Wu Shang, sometimes the Kaya coming out there, but specifically in that Moose Wars recently, the Cyber Showdown, there was a Diana pick that came out from Cody. He actually finished the tournament on that Diana, swapping off of the Barraza and sticking to the Diana. I think that is an interesting choice that he made. We may not see that at all today. Now, community tournaments, even when they're recent, players do play them differently sometimes than they do the official tournaments. So we may not even see that, but I did want to mention it as a possibility.
I think there's a lot of merit to that idea, more than just because it was a community tournament, because I guess maybe a little bit of personal bias, but it feels like Cody Travis hasn't been feeling the Barraza lately. We've been seeing him swap characters, even like, in the spring championship, saw him swap around a little bit, wasn't really sticking with the Barraza, and it's hard to have full confidence in somebody who isn't confident in themselves, but still, I think a lot of people know Cody Travis for that Barraza and are very excited to see how well that does today.
Yeah, you mentioned different characters. Definitely, I was super happy when he pulled out the Vrax. I was also super happy when he pulled out the Reno as well, but I certainly think he is going to lead with that Barraza and possibly stay on the Barraza the whole time.
Yeah, very real possibility either direction. Okay, let's go down the bracket just a little bit. Talk about the third seed today. It's going to be Wrenched and Coslex, and this is a little bit of a surprise. I don't think people expected them to be seeded so high today.
I think one of the reasons is that we had several high-profile teams kind of break up a little bit. We have Santi with Snowy now instead of being Simba Santi. We have Zakoi with Ethan now. Zakoi was previously with Snowy. And there are a couple other teams that have broken up. And that's been interesting to see. And I'm very excited to watch their trip through the bracket today. But for Wrenched and Coslex, I don't know. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know. I'm not feeling Wrenched and Coslex today whatsoever. They have rough placements in community tournaments since spring.
Yeah, I think it is. They are admittedly a very awkward team to place. I mean, even just looking at their matches today, they went 3-2 against Wubs and Kaiser. You go back into their pools match, and it wasn't a free run. They 2-1'd their first match of the day against Daddy, Hizo, and Tiki. Like that, it's very hard to say, oh yeah, Wrenched and Coslex, they're very much third seed, because they're struggling a little bit in their matches. Sure, they're getting their W's, but man, it has not been a casual walk to get here to where they are in the top 32 of things. And even if you go back into the official tournament history books, like, they have not been consistently top 3. They got a top 4 in the spring championship. Just before that, finished 5th place in the winter championship. Then they got the 7th place finish in the world championship. They got multiple 9th place finishes if you go back. But if you go even further back, eventually you'll find that they got a 2nd place in the summer championship just last year. So there's like these moments where they look pretty good, where they look like they might be able to get that gold medal finally, despite all the times that Wrenched has tweeted out that they're going to get that gold medal. But then they also have many moments where they don't really make it that far.
Yeah, Wrenched specifically tweeted out that he is going to top 3 summer championships, and I don't personally think that's going to happen, at least in 2s, so I expect a, yeah, but 1s is tomorrow, and all top 3 1s tweet coming out from him, though he did also tweet specifically today that it is a pop-off kind of day. We haven't really seen that pop-off happen just yet, but if you look at the 4 most recent community tournaments, they placed 7th 3 times and 3rd place once. So they barely made it in the top 3 that one time. And I think you're exactly right saying they're an awkward team to place, because we talk about the coin flip of whether Cody's going to win or whether Boomy and Sandstorm are going to win. I think there's a coin flip with Wrenched and Coslex about whether they're going to place really well or comparatively place not so well, at least for them. They're kind of like the popcorn bag at the end of the microwave timing, where it's like, here's one pop, then 8 seconds go by, and then there's one more pop, and then 10 seconds go by, and there's one more pop.
Yeah, you're like, wait, I know the bag says we got to wait until there's a full 10 seconds between each pop. It is worth mentioning, like, they have had some strong moments, right? Like, again,
Definitely.
going back to last year, they 3-0'd Ethan and Sandstorm in the Steel Series. They also 3-0'd Boomy and Remy. I'm trying to find it again. But they also 3-0'd Boomy and Remy when they were teamed up, also in that same tournament, Steel Series. So they have these moments where they can be really, really strong, but it has been a little bit of a bumpy road for them, to be sure.
So I'm looking at their character picks for this. For Wrenched, I'm expecting a Jae Yun, and I'm expecting a Suri. We might see a Sentinel come out from him, but mostly on Coslex, I'm expecting that Ulgrim, though we could see the swap to Scarlet.
All right. One more team to talk about, Snowy and Santee. Sparky, what do people need to know about this brand new team?
They need to know how excited I am to watch them play. I am hugely looking forward to Santee and Snowy. They've only started playing together since the 29th of May. That was, of course, a community tournament, Moose Wars Siege of Giga War 4. But out of the 6 community tournaments, only one since Springs wasn't a top 3, and it was a 5th place. It's not like they got 7th. It's not like they got 9th or 13th. They got 5th place, so really solid placings. And keep in mind, they were getting these top 3s in tournaments that either had Cody and Phazon, or Boomy and Sandstorm, or both of them. In fact, that includes the most recent community tournament from Moose Wars, Cyber Showdown, that had both Boomy Sandstorm and Cody Phazon. They placed 3rd in that one, so fantastic placings from them. They've been really good ever since they got together. They've been playing in plenty of tournaments, so they're not coming in fresh to this without a lot of play time in an actual tournament setting.
Yeah, it is exciting to see. I mean, even I just pulled up their rankings on the Brawlhalla ladder, and they're currently 7th ranked in all of the U.S. East region. So they're definitely a strong team that has been playing together both in ladder as well as in whatever tournaments that they can get their hands on. They're trying to work this team out because it is a very new team. I mean, not that long ago, we were talking about the team of Simba Santee and how strong it was, how amazing it was for the Pro Series that they were able to get this team together. Like, that's their competitive team. And I'm sure, like I think everyone out there has heard how much Photo loved that team and how great it was for that region. And now they're split up, and now it's Santee and Snowy together. And it's great that they're doing well in their community tournaments, but they don't have the pedigree, they don't have that kind of official tournament experience that I think we're used to seeing from some of these other teams.
Yeah, this tournament specifically is going to be a very important one for them because this is the first major testing ground. Yeah, you took the practice SAT, yeah, you took the practice PSAT, but this is test day, baby. You better be ready to go into this one because it is going to be very tough for them. Luckily, they have a good bracket that they're going to go through. They are only going to face Cody Travis and Phazon. If they make it into top 8, it'll be on the winner's side. So that's a very good bracket for them. They are going to have to go through, let's see, I'm looking at the bracket here. No, I'm sorry. Actually, they're going to face Boomy and Sandstorm first on the winner's side of the bracket. So they have a pretty good bracket so far for them. I think they're going to maybe cruise through that one. But it's time for these predictions, Duke. And I'm going to let you go first on this one because you got a big outlier here that I am not agreeing with whatsoever.
You know what? I don't necessarily blame you, but as I like to do, sometimes I shoot from the hip and I let it rock, and sometimes it works out for me. So my predictions for the North American Summer Championship. In the 3rd place, I'm going to go with a very contentious pick. They might be the 3rd seed for the tournament, but by and large, the numbers maybe not really making that argument for me. The one thing that does work out in my favor is the fact that in the past few tournaments, the teams that have knocked them out were Snowy and Zakoi and Santee and Simba, and fortunately, they don't have to fight either of those people until they get into the loser semifinal, potentially, by all predictions. So there's a decent chance that they can get pretty far in the bracket, although things aren't looking hot. I still have them as my 3rd seed. In 2nd place, this is where it gets tough. Is it the Boomy Sandstorm? Is it the Cody Phazon? And I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm a Boomy fanboy. I'm going to say 2nd place goes Cody and Phazon. 1st place, Boomy Sandstorm.
I think there's an interesting choice. Not a bad 1 and 2. I will give you credit for that one. But that 3rd place, I'm looking in the microwave right now. So we'll see if the pop comes through from that popcorn bag or not. Because in 3rd place, I have Santee and Snowy. I think they're coming in 3rd. They've been consistently top 3 in community tournaments. They really haven't broken into that 2nd place position when there have been both Boomy and Sandstorm and Cody and Phazon in the community tournaments recently. But they did win one, and I believe it did have Boomy and Sandstorm in it. So still, solid placements. I think they're playing great together, and I think that'll translate to today. In 2nd place, I have Boomy and Sandstorm. Now, the reason I'm putting them 2nd, most recent community tournament, Cody and Phazon came out on top. I think that's very important, even though it is a community tournament, and some people do play differently. They experiment with things, they take more risks than they might normally, but coming out on top in 1st place, Cody and Phazon going to be coming home with the gold medal here. They will be your 2v2 North American Summer Champions.
Calling it now, very early. It's worth mentioning. Kozlik's very clearly listening to the pre-show right now. Had to send a screenshot of the current placings of Daddy Hizo and Teak, and is already calling that they might make a top 8 run. So he's kind of saying like, yo, just because we 2-1 in our first match of the day doesn't mean that the people that we're having a tough time. Just we ran into some very underseeded people. Is maybe the argument he's trying to make. But at the end of the day, like, you got to make the run. You got to get those medals. So that's our predictions. I think it's time that we bring in Flambeau to give one off-the-cuff hot prediction, if you can do so kindly.
Oh, man, one off the cuff.
Got to put you on the spot.
Prediction. Man. I'm going to say, who's Hardy MJ teaming with today? Him and his partner, they're making top
Blazy?
3. Put it
Oh.
right there. Hardy MJ and Blazy making top 3.
You didn't even know who his partner was? You're
Doesn't
just like,
matter.
Hardy MJ and Fred.
Blazy nice too, but I'm just like, Hardy ain't gonna team with no scrub. That's just facts. You know? There you go.
I think that's not too bold of a take. Like, that's not nuclear hot coming out here. It's definitely a warm take. I might have to pick it up with my fork and blow on it a little bit. Maybe drop some ice cubes into the soup. That is your take, but I think that's not a bad prediction whatsoever. Hardy MJ been playing great recently. Saw him in a community tournament playing alongside Experience. I love that team and was hoping that was going to be the team going into today. But Hardy MJ and Blazy, man, that's a good team. That's a good team.
All right, well, on that note, I think it's time that I head out and let y'all get into the top 32 of the North American doubles for the Summer Championship.
Bye, dude.
Are we just gripping and ripping, or? Well, I just got the word from production. Toast is not like when I say grip and rip, and if anybody that I've been talking to recently knows, I love to say that. So it is certainly not going to be removed from my vocabulary. Not by nobody asking, not know how, especially not Toast. I'm not too worried about him in this one. But yeah, let's throw this bracket up, man. I want to talk about this bracket. Production, get it up there.
No,
rip
same.
and rip that bracket
I'm
up on the
excited for it
screen.
as well. I mean, we have, of course, our heavy hitters, and it's been a
Or they
bit,
won't,
right?
'cause
Because
I
we
said-
had
I said
Pro
the word.
Series, so we didn't
I
get to
said
see the
word big
2v2
friend.
landscape
Hey, there
for
it is.
a little bit in terms of
Production
just kind of
helping
getting to
us
see the
out here.
people we
This is
love.
an
But there we
interesting
go. That's the
bracket so
bracket.
far.
Let's
It's
talk
kind
about
of
it.
breaking
Sparky.
down exactly like I would have wanted it to if I was looking at the predictions. We're going to zoom in on the winner's side. We mean Sandstorm coming in. Big 3-0 over Issager and Silly Gobi. They're waiting in the winner's quarterfinals. We are going to see Luna and Pugsy versus Parallel and Noel on the actual stream. I think that's going to be a good one. People talking up Luna pretty big here recently.
Yeah, Luna, definitely one of those players who I think is undeniably one of the best, but just kind of hasn't gotten the placings to match up. Of course, BCX last year was a great moment for them in terms of their rise, but I'd like to see them do some real big damage today.
Yeah, we'll see going into this one. Parallel and Noel, they have some good stuff. I believe Parallel and Noel played together in Pro Series, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I actually really liked that team. They didn't come out of the gate like taking out all the big stars, like adding notches to the big hammer that they swing with of all the big pros that they've taken out, but they were a good team fundamentally. I like seeing both of them play together. I like the way Noel plays, even though he isn't reaching the like high points in the bracket that he used to way back in the day. He's still just a really good player who has adapted to all of the meta changes that have happened in Brawlhalla for years now. You gotta respect a player who has staying power.
No, I have to agree, and I feel like Parallel Noel is a team that's not going to have much flash, right? Just kind of the way both of those players tend to play. It's going to be a little bit more calculated. It's not going to be the prettiest thing you've ever seen. Not to say that's going to be ugly. It's just not going to have kind of that pizzazz power that you kind of like to see from like some of the flashier players, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Parallel, I think, is like indisputably one of the best twos players out there. Also not too shabby in ones by any means, but you throw a player like that with Noel, who just has the consistency over the years, and you're bound to get really far.
Yeah, Noel also has like a really good brain for the game.
Yeah.
So he can kind of translate some of that knowledge over to Parallel. I think if there's anyone that you want to be like a mentor to you, I think Noel is probably one of the best. I think just his overall demeanor is one that you would want for a mentor. His knowledge is certainly there for the game. His maturity as a player, all the things that he's seen happen in Brawlhalla, I think he has so much experience on the table. I think Noel is probably one of the best possible mentors that you could have for the game. I think that's going to help level up Parallel quite a lot. I think Pugsy is also a pretty good mentor here that could impart some knowledge onto Luna, the already extremely good player. This is a set I'm going to enjoy watching.
Yeah, man, I didn't even realize Luna's made $0 off the game. Crazy stat for me to see that, because I'm like, Luna's nuts with it. So I'm definitely hoping maybe today getting a chunk of that cheddar, throw a couple of numbers on the board, because it looks like we do have the legend picks coming up from both of their respective teams. Pugsy, of course, on Finn the Human. No surprise there. Kind of, you know, that's the tournament winner right there for Pugsy. And then Luna on the Xavier Woods. That's just Bovar, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Absolutely fantastic pick. Anybody picking Bodvar, like, I will never look at that with, like, my eyes looking to the side and be like, hey, okay, guy, where is this one coming from? What are you hoping for with this Bodvar pick? Because Bodvar has so many things going for him. Despite being one of the first legends in the game, so many things in that kit have stood the test of time.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, right, we have Parallel on the Thor, the Undertaker, right? Epic crossover skin. And you know, Thor has kind of been a hot topic. When we got back to the Spring Championships, we saw a lot of Thor come out from South America specifically, and he made huge waves there. So I'm excited to see that show up in North America a little bit.
Now, one of the things that happened a lot for Parallel and I believe Noel in Pro Series was, like, one of them would die first. They had these good games that were just fundamentally strong, but the problems arise. They get the full team wipe here, which is a great start for them. But it was like Parallel would go down super early or Noel would go down super early. Those were the big outliers that led to their losses. If they could both stay in the game, this sounds like kind of stupid. Like, yeah, just don't die and leave your opponent in the 1v2. But everything else that they have besides dying early is really strong. Noel is going to fall here. Parallel fighting his way back over the edge. Pugsy rotating in. Luna maintaining position on the soft platform. Gravity cancel. Oh, he didn't even go for the gravity cancel instinct. Just needed the dodge.
All right, and the gravity cancel D-Light recovery is going to be the KO found by Luna there onto Parallel. As we get the stock counts even in this first game, so far, doesn't really feel like it's swinging in the favor of either team. They both just try to hold center stage as best as they can and try to push that advantage, but I think it's been quite a bit of a match tug of war.
Yeah, if you're looking at the top right corner about who's taking the most damage, it's Luna so far, but no major swings. Now Noel is in the orange, Luna's in the orange. You're seeing just back-to-back swings. You're seeing a little bit of team damage coming out, and that's also helping to keep it even. This could be a good edgeguard situation. That weapon toss didn't bonk Pugsy on the head in time before he got the dare onto Parallel. Noel dipping down deep, staying down there, and the red team didn't really chase him too hard. Wanted to catch Parallel on the respawn.
And Parallel kind of needs to play a little bit on the back foot right now, right? Down to the final stock. Noel joining him right now, but already has quite a bit of damage amassed. What a gravity cancel downsig from Parallel. I'm saying you got to slow it down. He said, no, Splambo, I'm going to turn it up.
He straight up knew, like, the perfect positioning on that. He had Pugsy right in the middle of that. Oh, Luna! Oh, Luna! With an absolutely filthy edge guard onto Noel. Parallel does get a knockout off the top. That is at least going to put everybody on the red team in their final stocks. But, man, you see that follow-up. Parallel is in orange. A little bit more of that. He's going to be taken out despite all of that. Easy punish for Pugsy there. Another down air for Luna. The edge game has been favoring the red team so far.
And you can see Parallel goes for the stomp, doesn't even go for the conversion because he knows Luna was right there to punish it, but didn't even matter. Luna was able to find him and secure the KO anyway. But I have to say, you know, I was like, $0 to Luna's name when you do stuff like that. That's not going to be the case for much longer there. Very quick, powerful, executed, quick early KO on the left side of the stage there with the sword down airs and the ground pounds. And I'm just like, you keep playing like that, it's going to be tough for Noel and Parallel to really get anything started. I mean, you were talking about, hey, don't allow yourselves to end up in the 1v2 scenario. Well, what happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened there. You saw that edge guard situation that Luna just completely dominated Noel, manhandled him, even got the KO in yellow. He didn't even have to get to orange before he got the KO, and because of that, Noel was taken out of the game, which leads to a few things. That lets the red team completely focus on taking Parallel out, who is playing a high defense legend. That sort of strength that Parallel has is sort of taken out of the game completely and negated, but it also means that Noel is not there to put out damage. He did mid 200s. Compared to everybody else, that is not good. You were looking at Parallel, he did like mid 400s, which was comparable to the other team, even though Pugsy did a little bit more. But Noel being an outlier there with mid 200s, very weak. He has to step that up.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough spot to be in, especially if you are the blue team, because we're going right back to Miami Dome. I think the stage in twos can feel a little bit claustrophobic at times, and I feel like Parallel and Noel could do well if they had a little bit of extra space, but they're going to have to hold down the fort here back on the stage and just try to execute a little bit better.
Oh, good follow-up there from Parallel. He does get knocked out of it, and I'm glad you mentioned that Miami Dome again, because I feel like we don't see teams going to Miami Dome multiple times in a row. I don't know what that dare was, bro. You hitting your team. Parallel still able to make it back from that. At least it was a bounce off the wall. Gravity cancel side sig from Parallel. That is going to be a full team wipe on the red team again this game. You saw what happened last game, even with the lead.
That was crazy. Luna going for the gravity cancel down sig with their hammer there. Very cheeky option, didn't pay off, but managed to find a D-Light Sayer anyway to bring things right back to even. You see Parallel just biding his time on the side, allowing time for his teammate to respond and lend a helping hand. And that's exactly what you have to do in scenarios like that if you don't want the other team to snowball.
And you saw the red team again not choosing to super pursue him off the stage. They really just want to grab the respawning person as they get back into the game and put out a lot of damage onto them. So that seems to be a main focus for the red team. Is not necessarily super hard chasing in the 1v2 early on in the game, but just grabbing the person who respawns, punishing them, turning that white to yellow. Oh, red team completely split here, gets the KO on the left side. Noel chasing hard.
Yeah, trying to just burn as many options as he can so that even if he doesn't find the KO, Parallel will be right there to clean up, but just couldn't find the answer there. But it doesn't matter. Looks like a D-Light recovery. He's going to find a KO, sending Noel down to the final stock. And we have ourselves a pretty close game, all things considered. Parallel's one good hit away, but that is Thor. That is a decent amount of defense you got on you there. Should be able to survive at least one more hit.
Oh, a little bit of team damage there coming from Noel. Kind of flubbed the follow-up on that one. But other than that, their ability to not put out too much team damage, even though they're so close to one another, overlapping hitboxes a lot.
Oh my gosh.
It's been great. There's a fantastic follow-up. So he messed up one recovery follow-up immediately. All right. Okay, dude. First he hit Parallel with the dare on the corner when no one else was near him, and then he hits the down signature there, taking out Parallel. They still definitely have the advantage state here in the 1v2 against the red. Pugsy nails that one, and just for good measure, throws out a nice neutral sig on Parallel.
Yeah, that was a good down sig as far as Koji down sigs go, you know. it's rare that you throw out a bad one because that move is just so good, but definitely a good play from Noel there to go ahead and close out that game. And I gotta say, I like the way they were able to clean it up. I was getting a little bit scared toward the end there because they were hitting each other quite a bit in the 2v1, and I feel like that's one of the cardinal sins that you don't want to do because you just don't want to give your opponent free damage on either of you. But luckily it didn't amount to anything. They're looking good. They got a game. We're going to Enigma now, which is going to be quite a shift, I think.
Yeah, Luna and Pugsy are going to say, you know what, 2 soft platforms are not enough. We're going to invest everything into that 3rd soft platform, hoping it's going to change things. Double D-Light comes out but doesn't get the side air. Parallel was there to punish that and completely halt it.
Okay, yeah, the orb play from Parallel looking just so good so far. Noel going crazy with the sword on the right side of the stage. Tries to get a conversion of that unarmed neutral light, but just kind of had a weird interaction with the Sayer hitbox so he didn't get the full conversion.
So worthy of note is this swap onto the Barbara from Luna. You actually saw him hit the initial D-Light and then go for the spot dodge immediately after, not wanting to get punished. Oh, this could be Luna getting knocked out in orange. You take a hammer ground pound in yellow, you better hope that you have a lot of options to get back, including a dodge to get through the impending weapon toss that you know is coming out.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh.
Oh, beautiful ground pound, and misses the save as well. Luna needs to get back on the stage, manages to do so. I was getting a little scared for them there because that could have been disastrous, but luckily, I mean, for the blue team, you know, they're feeling great. They're like, oh, we still have all 3 stocks. All right, cool. Parallel lost 1. Noel somehow hanging on there, but they have a hefty lead now.
I'm loving the team play from Parallel and Noel. You've seen several clutch interruptions on things that are happening, several clutch follow-ups as well. They're not without their fair share of mistakes, but those are few and far between. Again, I'm loving Parallel and Noel. I think they work together so well.
Now that we're seeing here, right, it feels like it's 2 separate 1v1s. Like Pugsy's
yes,
getting
Noel.
edge guard on the left side, and luckily, you know, there was a save toward the end there. But you really gotta, you know, go help your teammate out on the other side there. I know a lot of the times it can devolve into 2 1v1s, but especially if you're not winning your respective 1v1s, man. This is 2s, man. You don't got it.
Especially on the edge. Noel's 1v1 potential on the edge guard situations this game are so good. Completely transformative from what we saw before.
Yeah, now Luna's in a pretty tough spot here. Has to do the 2v1. Has 2 stocks, but they got 4. So we'll see how far Luna can get here. It's going to be a very, very meticulously planned out game from here. Or maybe not, you know. Maybe you just won't see the light of day. We'll see. Down to the final stock now.
It could be throwing out more D-Sigs like that, hoping for the Hail Mary and then just getting completely punished. Now, I feel like we don't see the most play on Enigma, so I don't know if players are ready for the 2v1 combo here. Since those soft platforms are so low in that area, they may sort of force movement more towards the middle, maybe interrupt. Luna going to get the nice 1v1 there. Noel now in the 1v1 against Luna as Parallel respawns. Parallel's going to be looking for a weapon. Is Luna going to get another 1v1? Continuing the dare, gets Noel, throws out the recovery onto Parallel, just target swapping really well, but the thing he has to worry about is Parallel is not in the red anymore, so he gets a hit on Parallel. He's not really going anywhere. He's not going to be split off from Noel.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of a bummer for Luna there, right? Like, you got the KO on both people, and you want to spend that time. Oh, this might just be it for Luna. Hold on. Yeah, down air, and can't make it back. Oh, almost had something a little precarious happen there, but it's fine. Looks like Parallel and Noel going to take that game convincingly, right? In comparison to the past few that we've seen, I was like, all right, yeah, it's pretty close, but this game, Luna and Pugsy weren't looking so great.
Yeah, Pugsy put out 134 damage. That is largely due to Noel's edge guard situations. He put out about 512 damage. Parallel put out mid 350s. So that was just really good edge guard situations to get those stocks early from Noel. And then just the neutral game happening also put out a lot of damage on that one. Pugsy not using a single signature the entire game. No signatures hitting from anybody whatsoever. Interesting.
Yeah. It's swing and a miss, as they say. But we are going to Mammoth, right? You know, if you're going to go to a stage where you got to put it all on the line, definitely not a bad shot by any means here. But Pugsy, we're going to need you to get some damage, man. Or at least some 2v1 combos here with Luna. Luna playing Brynn. That's a perfect lesson to get some 2v1 combos going with. You can land an Axe, Neutralite, y'all can set something up.
Yeah, and talking about that damage that Pugsy didn't put out last game, threw out 52 light attacks, hit 50% accuracy. That's a good way to start.
That's what I'm talking about.
They have another 2v1 combo coming out here. Got Noel into the orange, but going back to Pugsy, 15% of the 52 light attacks he threw out, that's 7.8. He barely hit 8 attacks, or really not even hitting 8 attacks throughout that entire game. That is rough.
Yeah, I mean, I think already at this point in this game, looking much better than he was in the previous, managing to find that team combo with Luna. And Luna has been the one finding the KOs as well, landing these signatures, you know, complete turnaround from the last game where they just weren't quite finding the mark. Ooh, careful.
Parallel.
Yeah.
He's playing real low on that corner, especially when he's red. If Pugsy finds a down air, that is going to put Parallel in a terrible position. We have huge discrepancy in terms of damage taken. Oh, Luna's just going to fall there, but they're still in a good spot. But look at the huge discrepancy between Noel and Parallel in terms of damage taken. Parallel's in the red, Noel is still in the yellow. This could be that situation we talked about before, where Parallel just goes down super early. Noel's forced into the 1v2 when Luna and Pugsy both have 1 or 2 stocks apiece.
Yeah, if I'm Luna, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to keep letting this SIG button fly because I am just hitting them right now. So, you know, ride that wave until it fizzles out because so far, Another one.
Oh.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this is looking so rough for Noel and Parallel. I think we're staring down the barrel of a Game 5 situation going into this one. 3 hits for Luna on that one off of the neutral light. Another 2 hits. Noel is going to find a recovery back. Parallel and Pugsy fighting over on the right side. Pugsy just completely dips. Wants to focus on that center stage positioning.
Nice, the exhausted recovery. That's always the cheeky recovery option that no one's expecting to cover. They're right. Oh, are you going to jump? Can I time that? But if you go for the exhausted recovery, it's just one more thing to look out for that people don't see too often. Oh my gosh, another SIG from Luna finding the mark.
I swear, Luna has a magnet tip on that spear every time that gravity cancel side sig comes out, because he's been nailed. Another one, dude! That's the second harpoon toss he got.
I think that's 5 out of 6 KOs for Luna. Yeah,
Yup.
it is. It
Luna
is.
was absolutely disgusting that game. You see that taunt in the end where he's digging a grave, digging 2 graves on that one, and digging it quick for Noel and Parallel. 540 damage, 5 KOs, even 1 accident.
Oh man, wow, crazy play. And yeah, the accident was just, Luna was out of jumps, went for a falling Sayer, and thought they'd be able to go ahead and drift toward the stage and refresh their jumps, and it just didn't happen. But here we go. Light attack signature accuracy, 50% from Luna, but you threw out 10, so that's 5 SIGs, right? Whereas Pugsy threw out 1 and it hit. So all right, bet. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, you look at the other 2 hit, Noel, I believe, hit 2, Parallel hit 4. Both of them got 50%, but throwing out 10 different ones and still hitting half of them is very impressive from Luna.
And the one thing that the stats aren't going to show you there is like how many of those SIGs were gravity canceled that hit, right? Because a lot of the ones that did end up connecting were gravity canceled, which means Luna wasn't getting punished for using haphazard gravity cancels like that. It means well-timed, well-executed, finding the mark, and that's exactly what we're going to need to see more of if they plan on winning this Game 5.
And it's important that he hit them and they regularly led to KOs. Like, okay, hitting a SIG in white, I don't care if you hit 10 SIGs in white. Like, yeah, that's pretty good, but you're not really doing too much on that. But if you're hitting SIGs in red, it's fantastic. If it leads to a kill every time, it's fantastic.
I mean, going back to Miami Dome here, which, this is the hot topic, right? I feel like this is an apt decision for the tiebreaker because both of them have won a game on this stage, and it looks like this might be the first stock going here. Can we get the final hit? Luna can't drift to the stage.
Parallel was able to grab that one. Pugsy wasn't able to save. That gravity cancel neutral SIG almost landed. That would have been a KO for sure onto Pugsy. Now Pugsy's just having a float, get away from everything. Nice GC D-Light recovery as the blue team was bearing down onto Pugsy, trying to chase that kill.
Man, now we're coming down to that moment where this game's going to be as close as they come. The stock counts and damage counts, fairly even here. Stock's going to fall to the Qatar recovery, and the Ragnar pick, I think, from Parallel so far has been doing quite well, right? I mean, you're able to get a lot of quick hits, and the offstage gameplay has looked good as well.
Yeah, the first 2 KOs that happened this game for the blue team was off of Parallel's Qatars. It was that edge guard situation on the right side, and then he was able to pick up the Qatar recovery. That's going to be a little bit of a punish. Not a huge one, though. Parallel's going to get back to the platform, does some nice unarmed damage before grabbing a weapon, has the axe in hand, so he's going to be looking for those side airs, maybe even a neutral SIG. He finds it onto Pugsy, but Pugsy was turned orange off of that. Parallel finally dying on the first stock. Have to be careful as the red team chases and he dodges through. Oh, Noel.
No! Wow, got hit again, went for the neutral air, had a chase dodge to get back to the stage off that, but then got hit again. It didn't have a chance to activate those iframes, so now the blue team, pretty scary situation to be in. Both members of the red team are high red. We're going to see Luna fall, Pugsy probably soon to follow. This is as close as it gets, and now I'd say this is a considerable lead for the blue team.
You saw Parallel chasing for that KO on Pugsy in the air with the recovery. That had to be so close to hitting. But Noel was there to punish the landing as well. So one was high, one was low. Noel, oh no, please don't lose this stock here on an edge guard situation. We saw some great edge guarding last game, but in some of the previous games we saw it not so great coming out from Noel.
This is starting to get scary. I think we saw Pugsy try to go for a ground pound and ending up getting that Jala down SIG, but Luna letting the SIG button fly again, live by it, die by it, and so far it's panning out because they need to find a KO now. If they can KO Noel, that's the best case scenario for the red team. They can have that 2v1. Sure, they'll have a bit of damage, but they'll be able to make it back quickly.
even if they KO Parallel, like you saw how far that neutral 6 sent, that was off screen. They KO Parallel, they're basically back to even. Weapon toss is coming out, 2 of them coming out. They're going to get the full wipe on the team Parallel. Now, all of a sudden in the 1v2, it is winnable. Luna, I think, is still in the orange, but very close to red. We'll see next time Luna gets hit, whether or not he's in the red. Pugsy in a good spot, especially when you're in the 1v2. He's going to be some bait for Parallel.
And yeah, this is like definitely in the realm of possible. Katars, I think, are the perfect weapon to kind of have to minimize the amount you're going to get punished. But if you get caught by a neutralite from either of these weapons, Parallel is probably just going to die. So Parallel really has to pick and choose when they're going to throw out their hitboxes, because this is a very scary scenario to be in.
His damage output so far is not too bad. The damage he's taken not too bad as well. You saw like the big cider that he got on Pugsy earlier and how far that sent him. Yeah, Luna is in the red after that one. Even that bounce, nice side stick. That was a good idea. That would have been a great move if it ended up hitting. He was so far away from Pugsy that there wasn't going to be any major punishment coming out from that big slap. Red team separate. Parallel is immediately chasing for the KO onto Luna. Oh no! That's so hard to watch.
Man, so close there, but had to burn that dodge probably a little bit earlier than I think he wanted to avoid that weapon throw, and that'll always mess up your plans for recovery, right? Because you're like, man, how am I supposed to drift close enough to the stage now? Very valiant effort from Parallel in the 2v1, all things considered. Had both of his opponents in the red, was essentially one clean hit away from KOing either of them. I mean, can't be too mad at that.
Yeah, his move choices, I think, were really important with how he played that 1v2. He wasn't just like putting out a downlight. He wasn't putting out neutral lights. He was using moves that completely separated the red team from one another. So like he would get a hit and he wouldn't get immediately punished. Even if he whiffed sometimes, the lower recovery frames on the Katars, he wasn't really getting punished. That was extremely important for how he played that 1v2. He played it really well. I think that goes to show how strong of a twos player Parallel really is, because if you look at the numbers, 656 damage. Of the 4 kills that the blue team got, 3 of them were from Parallel. So the issues really arose when we saw Noel going down early.
Yeah, no, I think I have to agree. Parallel did do a fantastic job. Noel probably dipping out a little bit earlier than he would have liked. And honestly, in that last scenario, like, man, there's part of me that's like, oh, Parallel was this close, right? Like, I feel like if he was able to just get the 1v1, he probably would have won it. But, you know, the Katar Sayer wasn't quite hitting enough, you know, it didn't quite find the KO. And it's like little moments like that where it's like, oh, if you would just kill, I could do this. But, you know, it's going to be them taking a trip to the losers bracket. I'm sure they'll have a pretty steep run, but the tournament goes on.
And if you think about steep runs, like Luna and Pugsy are also immediately going to have a very steep run, as they're going to face Boomy and Sandstorm next in the top 8 qualifier. But before that, we have another extremely strong team, both thought of top 2 by both me and Duke. Cody Travis and Faison versus Lil Captain Ithro. And you can see the disparity there in terms of the winnings, in terms of the power rankings. You add them up. It's 3 plus 2 for Cody and Faison. That's 5. Plus, you compare that to the 13 and 13 from Lil Captain Ithro. So 5 compared to 26. That is that's a big disparity there.
Yeah, and even if you're just like adding up the gold medals amongst these two, you know, Cody and Faison have a fat 18. Meanwhile, Ithro and Lil Cap have 9. You know, so it's like they kind of got double the amount of gold medals on you. But with that said, Lil Cap and Ithro, I mean, these are some of the GOATs, right? Like, Faison and Cody Travis, obviously GOATs in their own right, but I feel like in terms of, like, you talking history, twos history, Lil Cap and Ithro have been doing this thing for a minute.
They have been, even going back, one of the tournaments that Boomy and Sandstorm didn't win or even make top 2 in since they've been together was DreamHack Montreal 2019. Who came out on top of that? It was Lil Captain Ithro. Came out big for Canada.
And honestly, this is one of those teams, like, sometimes, you know, some people leave the game, sometimes they swap teammates around, but Lil Cap and Ithro, like, that's a team combination I expect to see till the death of Brawlhalla, which never gonna happen, but still, you know, that's how long I want to see these guys team together. And so far, they're starting off strong, finding the first KO there on a Cody Travis, still rocking that signature Barraza, but is it going to work out today? I don't know.
Nice gravity cancel down signature. Now all of a sudden the red team has taken the lead due to the fact that Phazon has not been knocked down on this first stock yet. You see the unarmed recovery coming through on Phazon. Didn't even send him off screen. A little bit of axe damage. That's actually going to put Phazon really in that kill damage. So that might lead to the KO pretty quickly. Oh, nice interruption from Cody. That kept Phazon alive.
Oh man, and Cody like falls off the stage as he's going for that neutral light, and it just causes the team combo to whiff, which is a little bit unfortunate, but honestly, they're kind of chopping up Lil Captain iThrow right now. Beautiful axe recovery. Honestly, a little bit surprised it didn't KO. That thing is potent, but they're hanging on.
Now, I love that save that Cody got earlier that kept Phazon alive, got him out of the D-Light recovery. I can't remember which blue team member, but it's an important save because then it led to the D-Light dare that Phazon hit of both members of the blue team. Even though that's not like, oh, man, did you see that dodge from iThrow? He straight up followed Cody around the corner.
And Cody might have made the mistake there. Yeah, playing off stage against Hammer. Sometimes, you know, 1 out of 10 times I'll say you'll go off stage against Hammer and win, but not this time around. Guess the reversal. This is going to be a pretty juicy team combo from Cody and Phazon, and almost a side stick to finish, but it doesn't matter. Cody finds the D-Light, chains it into the recovery. It's not going to KO, but at this point, the next conversion onto iThrow will be his stock. There it is.
There's the recovery. You called it perfectly. And that 2v2 team combo, like you said, didn't lead to a kill, but it did lead to a color change from yellow to orange. It followed up with a D-Light recovery that Cody found, and then the next recovery. So it was the thing that led to the thing that led to the KO. So still a very strong 2v2 combo that Cody and Phazon found. Where, I think we already passed the replay of that beautiful chain dodge that I think it was iThrow threw out around the corner that led to the KO on Cody. Just great reading of the movement.
And we're going right back to Mammoth for game 2. Cody and Phazon, you know, they were having a tough time at the very beginning of the last game, and then they just kind of, you know, saddled up, and it was a rough ride for Lil Captain iThrow from there. So we're going to see this time around if they're able to put on a little bit more of a show. So far, Lil Cap doing great with this aggression on a Cody, but Phazon going to go ahead and interrupt his flow. And that's the thing, man. You interrupt somebody's mojo, and that can be the difference between winning and losing.
Phazon looking pretty good here. Not taking too much damage on this. Look at that big side air. And the D-Sig, two almost back-to-back knockouts. And it does end up being a back-to-back knockout. One for Phazon, who followed up on the right side. Cody was able to follow up on the left side to get the full team wipe on that. It seemed like Cody and Phazon just needed a little bit of warm-up time. Looking at the bracket, it seems like they were waiting in winners round 1 for an extended period of time for the bracket to catch up and then for stream to start. So they might have been going into this one a little bit cold.
And honestly, oh wow, gravity cancel side tick is going to find the cranium of Phazon, and then Cody's going to follow soon after. Crazy play come out there from the Boulevards themselves. But I will say that the edge guarding game from Phazon and Cody, I think, has been the difference. Honestly, once they get a member of Team Blue off stage, they just have a really tough time getting back.
Phazon now over on the edge against Lil Cap, finds the recovery here. Oh. Nice follow-up from iThrow to finish this one off.
Nice save! Oh my god!
Still gets the save, and they're gonna almost, yep, they turned it around. You're exactly right. The edge game from Cody and Phazon. Started off with the save, they didn't retreat, they had perfect positioning, great play, getting the full team wipe as well.
Oh man, and if you're like iThrow, right, like you feel like you got a checkmate there, right? You got the perfect edge guard, and then the save comes out, and then suddenly, somehow your entire team is just dead. And it's like, why did this happen? I made the right play, but that's why saves can be so important. I mean, look at this now, they're both on their final stocks, taking a crap ton of damage. It's looking like this could potentially be one of those 3-0 sets.
Beautiful slide charge, reversing that from Phazon. That is going to take iThrow out of the game. Lil Cap is just going to fall. Man, that save from Cody was so good. And that's so
game
hard
changer
to do. Is like finding the save that will save your opponent, not put yourself in a bad position, then lead to a KO, then lead to another KO. Like the probability of those events all happening one after the other is so low. The skill from Cody and Phazon to take a dire situation and turn it into an entire team wipe, unreal.
And the thing that is crazy too is that when Cody went for that save, I think Phazon was still in the magnifying glass. Like you can't even see the dude to hit him, and you still getting it.
That's
you know,
crazy.
impressive.
He went so deep for that one. Like, I was sure that Faison was going to die there. Then even after Cody got the save, I was like, Cody, come on, dude. Why are you going in so deep? You're going to die now. But no, man. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You're reaching.
dude, that's the worst thing. When you talk someone up so well and then they just, like, almost throw away or
Or body their teammate. Yes.
Come on, dude. Game 3 Cody is, yikes.
But even with that said, you look at the damage numbers and it's like, wow, okay, like the red team still has a slight lead. You know, it's not a whole lot. Faison's taking the most damage, so probably even across the board now. But we'll see who gets the first KO. Faison goes for the D-Light Dare and then gets the recovery on the other one, right? I don't even think he hit Lil Cap with the, yeah, he hit one, then target switch and got the recovery on the other.
Now Cody did get the weapon spawn pretty quickly. Neutral air, not even sending Lil Cap on screen, so even a D-Light recovery probably won't KO at this moment. Cody sent off screen there. It's going to be important what happens next. That's a stupid thing that I just said, but with Lil Cap being so red and Cody and Faison being red, we could see the full team white. Could be important if Lil Cap stays alive here. He is positioning in the middle of the stage to stay as far away from the blast zone, so the side air from Cody doesn't end up KO. They do get the KO onto Faison. There's the unarmed recovery for the KO. We'll see if iThrow cannot take too much damage here. Flubbing the 2v2 combo, or the 2v1 combo.
Oh man, it's gonna be a little bit tough. There we go. iThrow finally finds a recovery. Be careful with Faison off stage, man. Okay, I like that Sair. Goes for the down sig. I can't believe he was able to dodge through that. You even saw iThrow charge it a little bit because he was expecting the dodge, but it still wasn't enough.
Those D6 were absolutely beautiful, though. That's exactly what I want to see from Bodvar players. Look at using it again. Yes, sir. That is exactly what you should be doing as a Bodvar player. That down sig is such a valuable tool on stage, off stage, gravity canceled, anywhere. That sig is so good. It can be really tough to punish. iThrow and Lil Cap going to be definitely behind here. Certainly after this, the big health disparity between Lil Cap and iThrow sent Lil Cap flying, so they couldn't really continue that combo any further, but still, every hit they get on Lil Cap has the potential to completely separate the blue team.
We need to be careful here, iThrow. Hold on, okay. He's getting all these kinds of hits off stage right now. Drops this air though, and that was a very important one to land because that would have sent Faison off stage. Might have potentially KO'd, but that's fine. Finds a D-Light recovery as Lil Cap is making his way back to the stage, and Cody is just going off on the both of them right now. Wow, he just ground pounded. I don't know what to do. Boom.
And I don't want to downplay Faison's weapon toss that came through before that ended up going all the way to the left side, completely splitting up the blue team. That gave Cody the room he needed to then go back and forth safely, and the game is just over just like that. Incredible work. Cody Travis putting out 553 damage, but then Faison coming in still mid-400s, but he also picked up 5 KOs. So definitely sharing the responsibilities of the team really well.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, Faison and Cody Travis, I mean, one, the team synergy is crazy, but also, yeah, I have to shout out Cody's blasters every time he's on the screen. Every single time without fail, just because he's able to, one, use the weapon in the way that nobody else can, but two, Faison's able to react quick enough, right? The blasters give you so much time when you hit somebody for your partner to follow up, and Faison is just always there ready to convert, and it just always adds up to making the largest differences in these games.
Yeah, you saw how the game started and then how quickly everything changed. Everything changed once the Cody and Faison nation warmed up and started to attack. Lil Captain iThrow just really couldn't handle it. Just kind of two different calibers of players. You have the ones that are top 2 every single tournament, and then you have Lil Captain iThrow. Very good team, good pedigree, good history from them, but currently they just can't stand up to Cody and Faison.
I'm wondering. I mean, we're going to see what today's going to shape up to be, right? Because it's always, you know, once we shape down to the top 4 of the tournament, that's when the questions really start showing up. Because, like, man, is today going to be a Boomstorm kind of day? Is it going to be a Cody Faison kind of day? Is it going to be, you know, someone completely different? It's always hard to say, because you need to see how the players are playing that day. You know, sometimes they be like, "Ooh, I don't know if today's your day," and other times it's like, "All right, y'all got it. You know, y'all cooking today."
And that's the tough thing that you look at it right now. Like, looking at that last game, I'm like, yeah, this is a Cody Faison day for sure. But we haven't seen Boomy and Sandstorm yet. We're still waiting to watch that Luna Pugsy game. But we do have one before that. We have Meg D and Blue Guys against Java and Stingray. And you're seeing some difference there in terms of the PR. 23 from Meg D, 30 from Blue Guys compared to the 15 from Java and 18 PR from Stingray. So the numbers definitely going to favor Java and Stingray here. The winnings also going to favor Java and Stingray.
And this is going to be an interesting one just for me to spectate because, you know, Meg D, of course, kind of cementing their name in the 1v1 scenario, right? It's like, all right, the Qatar king himself. But on the other side of that, we got Blue Guys who, you know, as you saw, no stranger to making it to top 32. I believe teamed with Double Dime before, right? But, you know, now that Dime's out the game, got to find somebody new. So this is a relatively fresh team, and I'm excited to see how they pair together. Meanwhile, on the other side, Stingray and Java are both like two players that I never really know how far they're going to place on a certain day, but I always know they're going to get far. And if somebody told me that they won, I would not be surprised, right? It's like they definitely have the skill, but it tends to be how are they playing that day, and I'm wondering if today's going to be one of those days.
Java definitely has his really good days. Stingray definitely has his really good days as well. I'm looking up how much they've played together in the past, because I'm not exactly sure on that. They both have done incredible things in 2v2. I'm looking up their history right now as I continue this sentence. Now, they did play in the recent Moose War Cyber Showdown on the 21st of August, so very recently. They ended up getting 5th place in that, playing together. It looks like since spring championships, they've actually played quite a few games, including the spring championships. Had a little bit of a rough finish in that one, coming out 13th.
Oof.
Then right after that, looks like, never mind, that one doesn't count because they DQ'd out of that. They did, it looks like, go 0-2 against Experience and Costlix. But ever since the Siege of Giga War number 3 on the 15th of May, it was a third place DQ, a 13th place, but that was Hardy and Stingray, then a 3rd and a 5th and a 5th. So definitely solid placements here very recently. Meg D and Blue Guys are going to have their hands full.
And already, I mean, this game just came out the gate with everyone swinging, right? And it's like, man, you know, like, sure, you may look at Meg D sometimes and be like, man, Meg D really likes to slow the game down, but 2s isn't really one of those games where you can do that. There's just too many people on the screen and not enough stage, right? So Meg D has to be going in there, throwing out these hitboxes first quite a bit, or just tripping people up with the movement. We might have an edge guard, beautiful ground pound from Blue Guys there, burning all of the options from Java as the red team manages to pull ahead just slightly.
Yeah, that is going to be Java going down fairly early. Stingray might be behind him too. Definitely the other player who's taking the most damage, and there is the KO. Blue Guys, Stevani coming out of the gate here, really strong. I was hoping for a Rayman pick. We might see the swap. Oh, Java with the edgeguard situation gets the KO there. Almost evening up the stocks.
Beautiful.
Great follow-up, and he does even up the stocks. We're back to a dead even game here, Flammo.
And one of the things I love about the way Stingray plays Bolivar, specifically the hammer as well, is that he thinks of the exhausted recoveries as just more opportunities to find an early KO, right? We saw him burn the initial recovery pretty early on in that last edge guard he got, and then he was able to find a KO with just the exhausted recovery later on, and that's something a lot of hammer players don't maximize as much as Java does.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't know the word exhausted.
Yeah.
So that's just another recovery. That's just a second. It's just a little bit different. It's not exhausted. It's just a little bit different.
So far, I mean, Blue Guys actually doing a pretty good job with Meg D here, right? You know, for a team that I haven't gotten to see much of. If this might be the first time actually for me, they're doing great. Java trying to find a quick KO with the double ground pound, doesn't find the second hit though. And so far, I mean, it's just a matter of who's gonna snag this next KO. This is really close.
Yeah, Blue Guys and Meg D, I'm looking at their history as this game is going on, and it's very solid here recently. 2nd at the US East 2v2 PXL Galaxy Cup, 4th at Cyber Showdown, 5th at Siege of Giga War 9. So really strong placements coming out from them.
Okay.
Who is going to die first here? It's going to be Java. So in the top right of the screen, we have that checkerboard pattern. Stingray going in with the ground pound, pulls out of it, gets the on-stage ground pound. Blue Guy's going to have plenty of in-air movement. You see Meg D rotate over to either go for the save by hitting Blue Guys. Down signature from Stingray is going to lead to the KO. The off-stage initiation, Java onto Meg D, but Meg D's going to completely dip from that, floating a lot. Oh man, doesn't interrupt that. Actually gets hit by it too.
Yeah, that's gonna stink, right? You get double the damage. Okay, no. You know what? I'm with it. I'm with it.
Are you?
I am, honestly, because there's a certain amount of, like, you have so much damage that, like, if you continue to stay alive, it can just be a detriment to our team because you're going to be so far away from me the entire time, and I'm trying to survive on my last stock, so just get it out of here.
You can explain that. Oh, your reasoning is not that bad. I still think it's a little bit crazy, but you know, there are many times where that reasoning will help them out, and I think there's just as many times where it won't help them out. So really, it's a toss of the coin. And that's a tough decision to end up making. I will give Java credit for definitively making that decision in that moment, because that's definitely a tough one to sort of see into the future and realize whether or not it's worth.
Oh, they allow Blue Guys to get a weapon, but Blue Guys, you know, one good hit away. Nobody really wants to go off stage. That's fine because he doesn't have any more options. So Java was like, all right, this is just a guaranteed down air I can get. And that manages to close it out. But, you know, that's a Val with Gauntlet still. You don't want to get too crazy off the stage because then, you know, you could find yourself getting caught by the hands of the Gauntlet and thrown down to the Shadow Realm. So good stuff to Java and Stingray there for being able to kind of win game one in the manner that they did. I think it actually ended up paying off getting rid of that stock.
Definitely. And now that you explain it that way, I'm glad you were there to say that, because my small brain immediately looks in that, and I'm thinking, okay, Java, what are you doing, brother? You did not need to throw that out. So I think you're definitely right on that. I'm gonna give you the benefit of any doubt that I possibly had, as I should all the time, because Flambeau he's just a smart guy. If y'all don't know about it, you probably do know, because you've heard his commentary in the past.
Yeah, I'll be saying all the smart things. Everyone says so. It's just facts.
This is true. We do know this.
With that said, though, I want to be as smart as Java and Stingray, though, because they definitely got a knack for the game that I do not, man. They always got the schmooze. They got the hits that land that I can't figure out how they do it. Their neutral is crisp. But on the other side, Blue Guys and Megdi also in the same caliber, right? Like, Blue Guys, I think, if you're looking at, you know, in terms of the highest they've ever placed, probably doesn't have quite the same caliber, but still an amazing competitor in his own right.
Yeah, definitely not in major official tournaments have Blue Guys and Megdi come out and really shocked everybody around the world like Java or Stingray have in their 2v2 placements together. But I mean, they're definitely holding their own. You can see in the top right, like, it's dead even so far between these two teams.
And I like that. Java can grab that weapon, that's fine, because Stingray's going to go ahead and snag it. We have double gauntlets out, and I can see Megdi's like, I think I want the sword, right? I think it does better for the team combos among them anyway. And also, it's just like an easier weapon to kind of navigate the neutral with, especially in twos. And so we're going to see how Megdi's able to pioneer this sword and potentially take it as far as he can go. I mean, so far, sitting with 3 stocks, that's pretty good.
And that was a huge KO with the side sig over the corner that Megdi was able to grab there. KOing an orange Java, that's big. That's going to put Stingray and Java completely one stock apart from one another. If they can get this KO onto Blue Guys, that's going to put the red team in a similar situation, so they can actually even this up. Nice side air to get the punish. Didn't even end up hitting Java after that. So yeah, we're basically back to even. Megdi and Stingray have taken even damage. Java taking a little bit more than Blue Guys.
Yeah, this is kind of where the race starts, right? It's like we either got to get rid of Java or we got to get rid of Blue Guys. Who's going to fall first? And right now, it's looking like the answer is going to be Java. Java taking quite a bit more damage than Blue Guys. You can see Blue Guys kind of playing a little bit more patiently, jumping around the stage, gets caught right there and takes so much damage for it. You're going to need to be a little bit more careful, Blue Guys, because you have another scenario like that happen, and it could beat Megdi in the 2v1.
Java playing really well now, not taking a lot of damage and fighting a lot of hits. Oh, I think that actually saved Java from getting KO'd, so that might have been the best thing that could have happened there. That weapon toss bonking Java on the head, so he was completely out of the way of that side signature.
Oh, man, no, I think you're right. I think that was, like, accidentally clutch, and we take those, right? Because Java still alive, Blue Guys still alive. Megdi, though, getting some good pot shots on a Stingray, so that's definitely going to be, you know, some happy damage. Blue Guy, you got to survive for the next, like, 5 seconds. Oh, man, just find a double hit. That's what you want. All right, we're
Blue
good.
team could be loving this here. Java does have the hammer in his hands, so the KO potential is certainly there. Stingray's KO potential on this sphere has been really well really strong so far. That's going to be the KO taking Blue Guys out of the game. This is a 1v2 that is certainly winnable for both teams at this point. Megdi is going to have to play it very carefully. The sort of passive style that Megdi plays with could be helpful here. That follow-up comes out. It's going to end in a weapon toss, so not going to be the most damage. No one's going to write home about that damage, but oh man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, the blue team knows, all right, Megdi's probably not going to throw out an attack. So, like, as long as we're just able to kind of cut him off with our own movement and throw out a hitbox that either hits or forces a defensive option, the other person can just react. And you can see, like, since this 2v1 has started, Megdi hasn't landed a single hit. And there we go. Easy cleanup for Java. You know, Megdi extremely struggling in that scenario, just didn't know what to do, really. And I don't blame him, right? Like, you know that you need one good hit on the Java to go ahead and close it out. You know it, but it's like, how do I find it? And that can be tough. And I think he needed to take a little bit more risk there. You know, I think the kind of how seemingly one-dimensional his playstyle can be at times kind of just shot him in the foot there.
That was just a tough situation overall, because like you think about what you need to do is, even if both of your opponents are red, if they're not super red, you're going to be looking for the D-Light recovery. Like, you hit a side air, probably not going to lead to the KO. It will split up the other team, but it won't lead to the KO. So if you go in for the D-Light recovery, let's say you hit it, you're going to get punished there, which with how damaged Megdi was towards the end of that, like, any punish could be fatal for Megdi as well. Even if Megdi goes with the Val neutral signature on Sword, which is one hit compared to the D-Light recovery, which is two different moves, you're still going to be punished by the other team if they're a competent 2v2 team. And we've seen from Java and Stingray, certainly a competent team.
Oh, and speaking of that, I mean, crazy start. I don't know how Blue Guys was able to snag that one, but that's definitely a come up for Team Red right now. And hold on, Blue Guys just going off stage. Don't play with Blue Guys off stage. He will do some dastardly things to you. You got to be careful.
And you see Java exactly being careful, knowing those wise words from Flambeau and completely dipping from that. There is going to be a full team wipe here, and Stingray is actually in a fantastic spot here, only in the yellow on first stock. So even though Blue Guys got that fantastic edge guard against Java, it didn't really seem to mean much in the long run because of the strength of this blue team, and specifically Stingray.
And honestly, I got to say, Stingray looking quite nice with the axe play right now, I have to say. I mean, look at him. Oh my gosh, yeah, just getting several hits unanswered. Almost had more. Luckily, you know, partner of Blue Guys there, Megdi, was able to come ahead and break that up, but that was tough.
Yeah, Stingray straight up chopping necks here. Neutral Sig not going to take him out. It is going to disarm him. There is a weapon spawn, and Blue Guys is going to grab that one. Nice dodging from Stingray.
Tries to go for the double side light. Doesn't catch the dodge, though. But this is tough.
Look at Java coming in. He's there to immediately punish Blue Guys. Doesn't lead to the KO as Megdi got the rotation in. That side air is going to take away Stingray's first stock, but look at everybody else on the board. Megdi in the orange. Blue Guys definitely in the red, or at least one more hit will put him in the red. D-Light side air from Megdi. They have potential with a 2v1 combo. Fantastic. You see the weapon toss coming in. That is Java trying to do anything he can to just knock Stingray out of that, or at least hit a red team member and interrupt their flow of the combo.
And honestly, I like it, right? There was a moment there, oh, beautiful side sig going ahead and securing that KO. Java kind of playing off the side, Blue Guys going to go around. But there was a moment there where they had to make a decision that was like, all right, are we going to go for the 2v1 combo, or do I try to get this edge guard? And they said, you know what, let's go for the 2v1 combo. And they got a decent amount of damage, not as much as they wanted, like nothing like that we just saw. But still, you know, now it's final stocks. I think Blue Guys and Megdi can snag this one, but they have to be careful. Oh my gosh, Java's getting so much damage.
It's like 4 hits in a row, and then Stingray is there to punish the landing on Megdi. Java continues. 4 hits coming out. Megdi does dodge through the neutral air. Stingray still swinging that axe. Nice combo. They did find 2 hits.
There's a drop there. That could have been some big damage. You know that's going to suck. Oh, they're going around. Megdi manages to find his way past Stingray, but still doesn't have a weapon. Beautiful side stick from Blue Guys. Can he get the edge guard on Stingray? He doesn't have a dodge. He could have ground pounded there, I think. And that could have been game. It's going to be the recovery from Java. They're trying to save each other. It's getting crazy off stage, and they're both going to fall. The red team, Blue Guys and Megdi, come out on top, and honestly, so much happened in that last sequence that I definitely need a replay for that.
Yeah, I gotta get that. There was a dare that came in from Java that I think Stingray dodged through and then hit the unarmed neutral air, which the chase dodge didn't send far enough. so he couldn't get back up, and then Java fell off it because he also didn't get, yeah, there, you see the neutral air. The dare came before that. Oh, man. You know that Java had a plan in his head, and I think Stingray didn't quite know what was going on, at least from Java's point of view and mindset. So that's going to keep Megd and Blue Guys in there. That's just Stingray and Java not quite being on the same page. They were really close. Like, one of them is on page 71, the other one was on page 72, but not being on the same page there meant that dodge came through, so the down air from Java that would have sent up couldn't save. The neutral air from Stingray gave him a chase dodge. That doesn't go far enough, and then Java, because he was so down low, he didn't get a chase dodge off of hitting the down air, so he couldn't get back either.
Yeah, that was a tough position there. Definitely needed that hammer down air to go ahead and toss Stingray back up, and it just like barely didn't find the mark, which is going to be a tough break, but they do still already have two. Oh my gosh, yo, Blue Guys just, I don't even know what to say. Like, Blue Guys just really was the star player, the MVP for the first like 15 seconds. Like, godlike. Okay, Blue Guys.
Nice fall here. Stingray gonna completely turn around. Blue team gonna focus completely on Megd, hoping to put out as much damage as they possibly can. Maybe leaning to the KO. They do get a KO on the Blue Guys.
Yeah, man, they hit him hard, man. That axe recovery, when you KO someone with it like that, you just kind of got to recoil in your chair every single time because you're like, dang, that hits hard. You know, like, you feel it every single time. And there we go, D-Light recovery from Megd, going ahead and getting some damage on his Stingray, trying to find the final blow. These neutral sigs are coming out. Blue Guys knows that that battle neutral sig is such a good option. You're not going to get punished for it like that. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, no.
I love Stingray's follow-ups. They're so good with those side sigs specifically. Hits the down air as well. Blue Guy's going to go under. Stingray chasing him. He's done. Oh, my goodness. The chase from Stingray, the just complete disengage at the perfect time where Java was still a threat over there and Stingray could rotate over in time. Just perfect execution on that.
Oh, man. Wow, what a tough break for Megd and Blue Guys. Blue Guys, you know, starting off the game with that crazy play now on his final stock here. This is going to be tough. You're going to have to, you know, find a quick one. You know, this is the moment where you got to find a quick one, or you collapse on a Java, find that KO, and then it's like, all right, this looks a little bit more in the realm of possibility, because you know Java can kind of really explode at a moment's notice. So especially if you get a stock off of that character, you're in a good spot.
It's interesting that neither player on the red team wanted to engage against Java when he was unarmed at the weapon disadvantage off stage.
Ooh. Hold on now. You see Blue Guys going for the sidelight recovery. Can't get the weapon throw on Java. Perfectly timed dodge. Manages to find his way through it. And Blue Guys, you know, starting to bleed right now, right? He needs Java gone. Even at this point, we'll take Stingray. He just needs somebody because he won't be living much longer. And there we go. Should be able to get back down. Yeah, really has to find a way through.
Ooh,
That's
done.
a punish, yeah. Just too much active frames on that neutralite.
Red team just straight up did not want to engage Java on the edge. They would go over there and throw out like one move and then hit the dip. They were done with that. They did not want to risk it, whether Java had a sword, whether he was unarmed, or whether he had a hammer. They just did not want to engage in that situation. Stingray and Java looking like they're going to take this game and send Megd and Blue Guys down to the loser's bracket in a 3-1.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty tough break for Megd here. I mean, you got a lot of work to do. If you're able to collapse onto Java, like you see, goes for the ground pound right there, the risk reward is worth it, right? If you can get the 1v1, then we can talk about, all right, this game's much easier to bring back. But he doesn't have a dodge there, burned it on that gravity cancel D-Light, and that's going to be a lot of damage taken by Megd. And I think, what are you going to do? You're going to run toward them, or you're going to play off the corner and see if someone lets you get a quick, you know, gauntlet throw down to the blast zone? Doesn't look like it. Whoa.
That's going to end up splitting up the blue team. You saw Megd hoping that a situation would arise. Not enough damage on Java, and there's Stingray, the rotation in. Textbook play. Man, Stingray, he did numbies that game. 6 KOs, only died one time, 718 damage.
What can you say, man? I mean, was hitting, you know? Especially those Bryn side sigs were coming out, got that Sair on the punish for the sword and light to go ahead and remove Blue Guys' final stock as well, and just throughout the entire game was just tough competitor to deal with there. I look at that last replay and I wonder if Megdi actually wanted that last neutral air or if he wanted to go for the exhausted gauntlet recovery to try and catch Java off the top, because that would have been an early KO. But there you got it, the bracket, and it's shaping up to be a good one.
And I think that last game just goes to show how the red team completely disengaged from Java. He would go to the edge, and he would try to engage in situations with the red team. They would dip, and then who was there waiting for them? He would, like, corral them and push them away towards Stingray, who was there to punish landings, who was there to punish them on the corner, and that's probably one of the main reasons that Stingray put out that huge damage, is just the fear of engaging with Java on the edge. Where are they going to go? They're going to go back to the main platform, and Java, or Stingray, is just waiting there. That's exactly what the blue team wants.
And Stingray also had the follow-ups on point as well, right? It was like, oh, Java got to hit, say less, bro. I'm right there waiting for you. So they just, I mean, the synergy was looking good. Java, honestly, I think you're right? Like, the fear of the hammer off stage play from Java was enough to have kind of Megdi and Blue guys be like, I don't know if I really want to mess with that. And in that fear, we found an opening created for Stingray. And
Yeah, that's a great game plan. I love it.
Went crazy.
Now, one thing I am worried about is once you get further into the bracket, you will find players that are better in the edge guard situation and will be able to take that and turn it into a KO on Java. And then in the neutral situation against Megdi, they're going to be a stronger player possibly and win that as well. But we're moving on. Boomy and Sandstorm do not want to wait for this one. They want to fight Luna and Pugsy straight away.
What the
Interesting
heck?
character picks
What
with
the
the
heck?
Ulgrim from Boomy. Now, in the most recent Cyber Showdown, Sandstorm was playing on the Wushang, but Boomy was playing a, let me look, I cannot find it. Oh, it was a Hattori.
Which I'm like, okay, you know, Hattori, fine, whatever. Still, you know, not really something you would think as like a Boomy pick, right? I mean, granted, this time around, the Ulgrim, well, hold on, Pugsy's just dead. like Pugsy just got tossed, and this might be Luna falling as well. Sandstorm really good at these edge guards. Was that an exhausted recovery to beat the ground pound? That's a crazy pick from Luna. But Luna was like, please, 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 I don't want to die.
Man, I'm still focused on this Ulgrim
Same.
pick from Boomy. We
Oh,
haven't
no.
really seen him
Uh-oh.
play Lance in the past. Oh, Sandstorm,
gosh.
he's going crazy right now. He wants to take out Luna here. With the gravity cancel side light. Not afraid to engage Luna on the edge, even when Luna has the hammer. Boomy rotating in.
Oh my
Luna
gosh,
actually
yo,
getting
this
both
unarmed
of them
from
away.
Sandstorm! He's pulling up with the twinkle toes. Holy cow, man, that was crazy. Well, even with that said, I mean, Boomy finally going to lose his first stock, but Pugs is already yellow on his last stock. This is really bad. Luna has all three, so you look at the stock count and you're like, oh, this is even right, but you have to know that the advantage is in favor of the red team.
Nice three-piece from Pugsy onto Boomy. Axe coming in. Oh, you see him completely go for the reset.
You gotta be careful here, Pugsy. There we go. Luna loses his first stock, honestly, like, in deep barbecue. So that's a pretty good stock, all things considered. Oh, no. Oh, he has a recovery, though. Still has a recovery.
Oh.
Doesn't even matter.
Oh,
Just got-
no. There was so much that was invested into that Pugsy stock. The weapon toss down from Boomy, the ground pound in the push-off column, then the ground pound from Sandstorm up along the edge. Like, Pugsy just was not getting out of that alive. That was straight up out of Final Destination. So many things were happening, and the death was guaranteed.
Yeah, and now at this point, Luna, you know, I think playing off the edge, probably your best bet. You're going to get pogoed pretty hard here, but you need to go for these kind of cheeky KOs off stage. And hey, if Boomy gives you a donation like that, you know, at least you got one.
Did trade 1-for-1, though, and when Luna's behind, definitely not a good trade there. Does
Nice.
have to find stocks. Ooh.
Oh, nice interrupt.
Dude, Sandstorm is in there. He was waiting on the side until he knew that Boomy was in that situation where he was likely going to fall. Then the immediate rotation in. Perfect execution from Sandstorm. Great timing.
And honestly, the reason I love that so much is because, like, when you're thinking of ways to get guaranteed hits in Brawlhalla, there really isn't, right? Like, you have to really have a read on someone's movement. And if you just, like, watch your teammate get bodied and know, hey, at this point they will die, he's definitely going to go for a hit here, that's as guaranteed as it can get. I mean, convincing game one to Boomy and Sandstorm as the Ulgrim and Wushang pick, not looking too shabby at all.
Now, I want to focus on this final KO that they got because it was a vertical follow-up. They're both right above one another. How often do you see follow-ups like that? Like, yeah, you'll have one person on the left, one person on the right, and they'll do like a D-light side air into the other one's recovery. But that is sort of a more unique situation where they're both one above the other in the same column. That's just not something you see very often.
And that's optimal as well, right? If they go for a combo off the side from that position, they won't be able to lead it into a KO. But you KO him off the top, boom, suddenly he's just dead. And that's why Boomy and Sandstorm are such a scary team to go up against, because they got it down to a science like that.
And that's a sick follow-up option that is very case-specific. Like, if it's on Mammoth, you're not doing that unless the platform is in that spot. Same thing for Apocalypse.
Oh, man. And now we're on Crystal Temple, which, you know, it's a bit of a controversial stage amongst the top players. Some people love it, some people hate it, especially for certain legends. Like, you got a Rayman on the stage. Oh, man, feeling bad. But luckily, none of those here. But the blue team holding their own right now.
There are 3 axes possible in this game for the Teros, the Ulgrim, and Pugsy.
Oh, no.
Nice punish on that one, but yeah, it's not going to lead to much except for a full team wipe for the red team. So the axe players might be loving this. Maybe Boomy's Lance as well. You hit a jump nair. That's perfectly covering that platform. Of course, Boomy is very strong in the ledge cancel game. Neutral Light coming through. The third hit ends up picking up Pugsy as well. Another Neutral Light coming through from Boomy. His Lance is looking so good.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Boomy doesn't play Lance. Like, if this is your first Brawlhalla stream, like, Boomy does not play this weapon. You know, like, sure, blasters, bow, sword, gauntlets, whatever. He play most things, but Rocket Lance is not something you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Boomy to figure out how to play Rocket Lance. That's just not it. But we're seeing it come out to full effect here, and it's looking crisp.
There was definitely a time where people would ask me the question of like, oh, who's your favorite Lance player? Who's your favorite Hammer player? Who's your favorite Blasters player? And my answer was always like, Boomy when he chooses to play that weapon. He's so good at picking up weapons that are meta, weapons that aren't meta, weapons that are a little bit strange and don't have a huge like pro player dedication among them. So seeing this Ogre pick surprising me is fantastic. I love it.
Oh man, the weapon throw's looking tough. Looks like Sandstorm's gonna be able to make it back though. Luna and Pugsy fall behind once again, but honestly, not too bad. They can make a comeback here, but oh, it looks like the N-Light sent Boomy just high enough that the D-Light didn't pick up, which like is a little unfortunate. That D-Light does hit pretty low to the ground, so like even things like, oh my gosh, beautiful weapon throw, but even something like a Hammer N-Light will jump over a sword D-Light, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was like just the angle that it picked up or if it was because the red team member was caught just a little bit off the ground that it sent just high enough to get over that D-Light. That's unfortunate for Pugsy. Nice down signature. He ended up picking both there. The amount of like both blue team member pickups from red is insane.
Oh, I love the fastball option there because that's not going to get caught by the immediate recovery. Luna finding these hits, but the down sig from Ulgrim is like pretty ignorant. Like it's pretty like if you want to KO someone and you don't know where they're gonna go, you Ulgrim axe down sig because it covers both sides. It hits above them as well. It starts in the middle, and if you charge it, you can catch a spot dodge pretty easy. So when you're in a 2v1 scenario like that, and you know you're just looking for the final blow, you can just start throwing out that axe down sig willy nilly, and it's great for it.
It's dummy safe too.
Yeah,
I think you calling it ignorant is perfect. That is the best word to describe that signature. You see that from a lot of Ulgrim players out here. You nailed it.
Yeah, it's just like there are very few things in Brawlhalla that are ignorant, right? It's like Ulgrim axe down sig, Teros as an entire character, and then like, you know,
True.
like, I don't know, Orion Spear neutral sig. Like there's some ignorant stuff, or I don't know, but it's great to see, you know, when it works, right? And especially when Ulgrim axe down sig spikes, then you're like, oh man, you went for the full ignorance, like the whole shebang.
Now we're going into this next game back to Crystal Temple. Pugsy on the same character, Luna actually swapping over to the Sentinel. Hopefully not the only Sentinel love that we get today. Again, picking up both members, maybe not for the full combo, but still a lot of good initial damage coming out of this game so far, right in the very beginning.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it seems like they're loving the Crystal Temple. We'll see how that pans out. Oh, and Sandstorm getting cheeky with the gravity cancel, or rather the slide charge off the stage with the down sig on Wushang there. But even with that, I mean, Pugsy and Luna, you know, they've always kind of been in this scenario where it doesn't feel like they're too far behind, but then they're unable to find the KOs. And it looks like this time around, maybe a little bit different. I like the conversion from Pugsy. I think that's the most you could really get.
Yeah, I don't think the D-Light Dare would have necessarily been the best option there because the positioning on it might have been a little tough. If you end up sitting too shallow, then he's going to be out of hit stun in time. So definitely not a bad option. And they get another one here. Definitely Luna and Pugsy's best shot so far at taking this game. Still both of them on their first stock, so they are definitely red. Pugsy is going to fall there. They're looking for the KO onto Luna. You're seeing Boomy hunting with the Lance Sider, not finding a connection yet. And there is a stock off of Sandstorm, who was on his final.
And honestly, I think I like the Sentinel pick coming out from Luna here. And so far, it's been paying off pretty well. The Hammer's been doing a good job. There we go, being able to find these stray hits off of his teammate, just kind of tossing them to him. It adds up very quickly. Nice.
Not quite enough to take out off the top. He was looking for the second one, the exhausted recovery. There's the D-Sig. Unfortunately, it didn't hit that spiking version. It was that 45-degree angle up and left. So that's going to be basically the farthest that you have to send possible to get a Blast Zone KO.
There we go. I mean, Sandstorm holding it up on the left side here. I mean, one stock to go, so he has to kind of turtle a little bit, and he throws out that light attack. And by the way, that is not his signature. I don't care what anybody says. That Wushang spear side sig is so fast. And now, I mean, we'll see. They're getting quite a bit of damage on a Pugsy. You can see Sandstorm really picking and choosing when he throws out a hitbox right now, right? He's like, all right, I'm trying to win this. We'll try to close it out with a 3-0. I will jump around and wait, but for how much longer? There we go. It's all set up now. Luna and Pugsy, they have a good chance to take one.
We are seeing really good follow-ups from Luna and Pugsy on this game. Boomy's been a little bit reckless with some of the signatures that he's throwing out, and he's been punished several times on them. Like to just sidelight into neutral sig. Nice follow-up. Didn't get the second dare, but Luna actually kept the string going after the dodge came out from Boomy that kept him safe from Pugsy's dare.
Oh, and that's the thing about Katars, right? It's like, oh, that should be a huge punish. There we go. Nice. Not enough to KO, though. Maybe a gravity cancel N-Sig would have had enough juice, but either way, yeah, it was only a matter of time before Boomy saw himself getting sent out of that one. That's going to be a victory going in favor of Pugsy and Luna. They're able to get one. Can they get two?
Boomy is going to have to be careful about how he throws out signatures. Again, you saw it in that 2v1. He threw one out, and it was a full punish from the blue team. That happened basically throughout the entire game. We are going back to Crystal Temple. So Boomy and Sandstorm, even though they have won one and lost one on this map, they want to make sure that they come out positive.
We'll see. And light coming out from Boomy, still doesn't have a weapon. Pugsy just juggling everyone. He even goes for some cheeky platform movement with that Sair, but doesn't quite line up and actually eats a pretty hefty punish for it. And, you know, Luna also unarmed, man. Needs to get a weapon. That N-Sig from Boom is going to say no, probably going to starve him. Yep, and Pugsy might just lose his stock. Yeah, that's it. Quick cleanup.
It was a good splitting up of the blue team by a lot of Boomy hits onto Luna that completely sent Luna to the left side. So Sandstorm can just take that edge guard completely unopposed by Luna.
You got to be careful here. Oh, man. Pogo. All right, Pugsy saved the recovery. Maybe try to convert off the Boomy on the left side. No, it's actually going to be a quick sig from Sandstorm to go ahead and KO Luna. Pugsy, just can't find the hits off stage. There we go. That's going to be a nice one coming out from Luna. The ground pound, unarmed to find a KO. But, you know, still got some work to be done, and they always do.
Oh, Boomy knows he can't get down there in time, so he's just going to sit on the wall. He's going to touch the wall again. It's going to get his jumps back so he can have some in-air movement against Pugsy on the edge. If Sandstorm can clean this one up, almost hits the dare. Pugsy dipping back down, gets onto the main platform safely, goes back over to the wall. It's just kind of chaos over on the left side.
I mean, this is tough. I'm watching. I mean, Luna and Pugsy are definitely hanging in there. And luckily, I actually think the high ceiling is doing them quite some favors here, right? Granted, right there, not quite enough to save Pugsy, but the fact that, like, he even had to go that high to get KO'd is a testament to how I think this stage is working out for him. Oof. Light attack once again, man. That side sig, that Wushang side sig. Surprised no poke from Sandstorm, though.
That's crazy that they didn't ship Wushang with a spear side sig. They just gave him another light attack. That's a really interesting choice from Blue Mammoth Games.
Yeah, they were definitely hooking up something fierce with that one, right? I mean, granted, we're taking a look, and Boomy and Sandstorm, pretty hefty lead. Boomy is in the yellow on his last stock, though, so it was one of those things. Can the blue team convert on the Boomy? And we'll see. Pugsy finding these commanding hits with the axe, and usually it's pretty tough sometimes to find, like, just like a raw axe here in neutral. Uh-oh, careful. Got to get back on stage there, Pugsy. Nice save from Luna.
Compared to what we would have expected, I think this is a lot closer than anyone would have thought. Because they do have the potential to take out Boomy here. Luna is going to be the first one to fall, and Sandstorm is ready to go with that one. The axe toss from Boomy able to finish that one, sending completely at that 90-degree angle, just a pinball machine, ready to close that game out. And that's going to be 3-1 for Boomy and Sandstorm over Luna and Pugsy. So even though they got the victory against Parallel and Noel 3-2, they're still going to go down in the loser's bracket game right after.
I gotta say, man, I mean, the ending there, the side sig into the weapon throw, like, you can't even be mad. Like, the amount of side sigs that Sandstorm threw out with Wu Shang on Sphere and the success rate, you can see pretty dang good, right? Like, I mean, the last 3 or 4 KOs we saw in those replay were from Sandstorm side sigging and then side sigging and then side sigging again. Because he's like, this move is kind of cracked, so I'm just gonna bump, and you're not gonna punish me for it. It's so hard to punish. Oh man, there we go. I'm on fire. Why, literally, yeah. Happens every time. Man.
They're coming for you after that one, but I think you're exactly right on that side signature. It's not even just the success rate that he actually hit it, but the amount of times that he didn't get punished for it as well is a very important thing to look at. So any non-positive wasn't a negative. It was just a neutral.
Which, like, that's kind of the best you could ask for, right?
Yeah.
If I hit, cool, huge rewards. If I miss, I'm exactly where I started, so I may as well just, like, do it again. And, you know, it be hitting. So, you know, shout outs to Boomy and Sandstorm. I don't think anyone's, like, too surprised, if surprised at all, that they made it this far and are continuing to push on the winner's side. I mean, in your predictions, in Duke's predictions, top 3, you know, top 2, you know, so it's no surprise there. But we do have our next set of contestants coming up. It's going to be Blazy and Hardy MJ versus Snowy and Santi. And I know you and I were talking about the Snowy and Santi combination quite a bit earlier. What do you have to say about that?
I love it, man. I'm so looking forward to it. Character pick wise, I think there is a possibility that they might surprise us a little bit more from Snowy's side than Santi's side, but I'm looking at a Hattori, a Val, or an Asuri from Santi, and then a Val, Rayman, or Zol from Snowy. And actually, my Santi prediction, completely wrong, and it's going to be a Koji coming out here in game 1. Both of these teams, I think, could do huge work today. I'm leaning more towards Santi and Snowy on that in terms of the consistency, but Blazy and Hardy MJ, very strong team, though Hardy is not coming out with a great sword in game 1 like we've seen from him in the past. He's coming out with a Taros.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think the first time Hardy hit top 8 was with that Taros. He had some of the best weapon throws I'd seen in the game, period. And you know, I'm not surprised that he's whipping the Taros out again one more time. We were talking about my off-the-cuff prediction, and I said Hardy MJ and his partner are going to hit top 3, right? And it's Blazy, right? And I'm sticking with it. I think that they're going to take this set, and I think it's going to be a close one for sure. I think Snowy's cracked. Like, I think Snowy is, like, actually a ridiculous player, and Santi, we have seen prove himself time and time again that he is no slouch. But I'm going to stick with my guns here and say Hardy MJ and Blazy take this.
Now, Snowy is going to be the only one without a weapon so far this game. It's now been 10 seconds in. Spawn comes in. He grabs the cannon as his first option about 12 seconds into the game. So there's a little bit of time. And, like, you see when he gets the weapon. Look at all the damage he's put out so quickly the second he picks up that weapon.
So far, I mean, my prediction's not looking too hot. Snowy and Santi starting off with a hefty damage lead here. This is going to be a conversion, though, and that's what I like to see. Hardy, MJ, and Blazy bringing it back in a flash, and that's how these games can swing in twos, man. Looks like Hardy's going to be the first to fall, but the damage is pretty even all across the board here. And I do want to talk about the Santi Koji pick because we've been seeing a lot of Koji over the Summer Championship.
He still just has, like, everything going for him. Strong signature kit, on both weapons.
Nice.
Strong, of course, Sword a very strong weapon. Bow a very strong weapon that just always feels good. Both of his weapons have true KO combo confirms. High dex means tough to punish. Doesn't necessarily need the highest strength in the world because of the true combo options and the strong signature kit. Has the option to just rotate over quickly. Koji's just a really good character, and I think probably always will be, unless something crazy happens where Sword is all of a sudden not a good weapon, which I don't think will ever happen.
Yeah,
or Bow all of a sudden not being a good weapon, which I don't think will ever happen.
And especially like unless they change the tatami mat, which I also don't think ever gonna happen. Like that move is good and everyone knows it, but it's one of the things that makes Koji Koji, you know? So it's like he has a pretty good recipe for always being a viable threat in the meta. But I mean, even taking a look, Hardy MJ and Blazy still behind by a little bit. But for how much longer? It's hard for me to say because we've seen what can happen once they get a conversion. And wow, Hardy is cooking.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
He's cooking.
Oh, Hardy! Oh my goodness! Blazy had a really fantastic follow-up. He is going to fall. This game is dead even now, but man, that second stock of Hardy MJ, just that 10 to 15 seconds of putting out axe damage. Oh my goodness. Snowy,
no.
get the double edge guard here. Snowy is so nasty.
I told y'all Snowy is cracked, man. And that's the tough part. Like Hardy was so close. I think it was like a save scenario where I think his partner Blazy ended up like dodging at like the wrong time. He couldn't get the chase dodge, but Hardy's still fighting here, and he's definitely the type of person to go grab a hammer and just chill off stage. He will do it, and he will wait the entire game. So we're gonna see if they let him get a weapon first. Goes for the unarmed. Oh, that might have been the mistake, and it was beautiful capitalization from Santi there to go for that gravity cancel D-Light into the Sayer. True conversion to go ahead and secure that KO.
Man, Snowy with a weapon in his hands is so scary. He's like, Snowy is the brazy one, and then Santi is the clean one. And I think that's a good dichotomy to have on your team. And that's what we've seen from Kojis in the past, is like really clean Kojis are very effective. I'm looking at like Noel's Koji back in the day. I'm looking at Tiger's Koji now.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially on top of that, right, you have the Koji on that side, and then Snowy is like, you know, we've seen it from Boomy and Sandstorm before. One of them will like play Zul, but really Snowy is the Zul player. You know, like when you think of a legend to player association, you have Cody, Travis, and Barraza, right? And then Snowy and Zul is specifically the amethyst skin, especially.
Yes.
That's Snowy.
I do love to see Zol picks into specifically. We saw Sandstorm play really well with the Zol in the past. He's obviously since dropped it or only picks it up some of the time. But seeing Snowy on the Zol, that's just what you want. As a Snowy fan, that's exactly what you want. And if you're a Snowy fan, you should sub to Snowy on YouTube. That is a very important thing to do, as Snowy did leave the lobby to reset his internet, so he'll be back just momentarily. We're still waiting on Blazy to choose a character. That'll come out once we see Snowy back into the lobby, but we still have Hardy on the Teros, level 65, and then Santi on the Koji, who's at level 67. Defense stance coming out from Santi's Koji, but a movement speed stance taking out of dexterity down to 2 on Hardy's Teros.
And you also have to point out, I mean, even taking a look at the titles of the people in this lobby, right? Only one of them has a champion title. You know, we got some finalists, that's cute. Only one of them is a champion, and that says something, right? Like Santi, you're sitting in this lobby, you're like, hey, you can't sleep on me. I'm the only one who got that gold belt around my waist. So definitely gonna be feeling pretty good about that. Now I'm wondering who Blaze is going to end up picking. If they pick the exact same legend, I wouldn't be too surprised. I felt like the combination they had going was pretty good. And Hardy on the Teros, I mean, that's like a pretty homey pick for him, right? Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick Teros. I think that's always a nice default for him because he's had such great success with that legend and manages Hardy, you know, you'll see whether it'll be in this set or one in the future, or if you just go look up sets from him on YouTube. You know, we were talking about how Teros is the embodiment of ignorance. Hardy MJ is the player that's going to throw like 5, 6 SIGs in a row and just not care.
I mean, we saw from the last game, if he's playing any character, I'm glad that it's Teros, but two, it better be an Axe character. The way he was playing, the way he was putting out damage on Santi and then turning around, putting damage onto Snowy, just back and forth. Blazy got the follow-up. Then Hardy went back to the damage time on both players on the other team. It was fantastic work. I love seeing that big explosive damage coming out from Hardy MJ because that's what you want from a Teros player.
No, that's actually facts, and it looks like Snowy has returned back to the lobby as we hop right into game 2. Looks like we're going to be going to Mammoth Fortress, which, you know, nothing too crazy about this stage. We've seen it a million times and a million times to come. But this is just another one of those sets. We'll see how it pans out. Can Hardy, MJ, and Blazy get a game here?
Now, we did see a quick Blazy hover onto the Jala, but it is back to the Hattori that we saw previously. Nice turnaround, but Santi immediately shuts that down after Blazy got the dodge with the turnaround D-Light that would have led to a double D-Light into either a recovery or a cider. So that would have been big damage that Santi totally shut down.
And one thing I do like, despite the fact that Hardy just got absolutely obliterated, was that for a good chunk of that stock, we saw him land quite a few unarmed neutralites. And normally in 2s, unarmed neutralite is a button you don't want to press, specifically in the 2v1 scenario, because it has so much active frames. But when you have a partner, you're saying, hey, I'm giving you all this time to follow up. So he had the right idea there. Unfortunately, team wasn't really able to capitalize. And now Santi and Snowy are really starting to run away with this.
They both had good follow-ups off of each other. Snowy just found a raw D-Light into neutral air for a KO. So Santi and Snowy definitely playing really good together and really good separately.
Oh man, yeah, this is tough. Blazy already on the final stock. Oh my gosh, go ahead, grab him by the neck and send him flying into the lockers with that SIG. It's going to be a tough time for Team Red right now. They're getting obliterated. Sure, you got one stock off of Santi, but you have so much work to do. Blazy's already halfway through.
Dude. Snowy's going insane right now. He's so good. His axe is incredible. Again with a side sig on a lower defense legend. Blazy is in defense stance going from 4 to 5, so that is going to help the survivability. Santi couldn't quite hit the neutral signature.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Snowy
what a clip.
And then Santi comes through with a down air, kills his teammate. Okay.
I respect it, though. I mean, clearly had a plan and tried to execute it. Didn't work out. You know, managed to find a little baby team combo off the unarmed neutralite like we were talking about a little bit earlier. But Hardy, MJ, and Blazy, this is a go next scenario. You need to switch it up in the next game here, because I don't know if you're going to be able to bring this one back. I mean, Blazy has so much damage right now. Oh, that
Blue team is playing together just so well. Oh, barely getting the dodge through, and they still find the follow-up.
Wow, the weapon throw follow-up?